Right.
That would be pretty based.
It would.
Never mind, I was not familiar with your game, Necromore.
He's the kingpin of Arkham Knight.
That's comic legend, actually.
Sometimes roles gotta be passed down. I don't know.
Yeah, he giving up the mantle.
Yeah, that's right.
SK, they want you to take the mask off.
They want me to
You
take the
gotta do-
mask off. Sorry I'm late, everyone, but don't worry.
Liam, do you have the thumbnail?
Almost.
Okay.
Ew, ew.
So,
He just putting again.
okay, so Jake got me what to do again, SK. I just don't want to mess this up.
Oh. I mean, you just hit start streaming if you have it set up. I don't want to do a whole walkthrough of OBS right now because we gotta get started soon.
No, I know, but just I already have OBS set up. I just need to make sure I just create the live stream correctly.
Create the live stream, hit the settings, and then just hit start.
Create, go live.
But yeah, ask some random Spider-Man questions in chat while we wait a minute. I'll give you a minute. But yeah, just as a for me to preface right now, the doc on Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man is 8 pages. It's 8 pages long, and
Under the 8 pages?
We got 3,450 words, so there was a lot to say just on the notes doc alone.
I love you 3,000.
Yeah.
I hate.
You 5 million.
Where's that
just
freak
real
bat,
quick,
Nick? I thought he
real
was going
quick.
to join us.
I just want to ask a question for people here. What do you think is better, this show or Spectacular? Because I know some people might be surprised, but it's a bit contentious amongst certain areas.
Somehow.
There is a correct answer to this question. Incorrect answering will result in summarily being executed. I just want everyone to know that.
I agree.
The correct answer is the 60s show, by the way, guys.
Yeah. The Spectacular 60 show.
Okay. Sorry to interrupt, SK.
Good.
Okay,
I was just gonna say. Someone in chat said 3 out of 10 seems a bit harsh. Look, it might look harsh right now. Just wait till we're done.
I think the show is a 4.
Really? That's generous.
A 2.
Yeah.
No, it's a 2.
Oh yeah, I changed my mind on the 3, by the way. I gave it a 2 in retrospect.
Damn.
I've not
By
seen
principle,
enough of the show to get, like, a full rating.
I give it a 1. By principle.
By principle.
Yeah, you about have the thumbnail, Liam.
Yes.
If we're using the Lucas formula, the show is perfect, and if you ask me why it's perfect, goodbye.
I was just kind of astounded to hear.
What's your thoughts on the thumbnail, guys?
Looks great.
That's fine.
It's perfect.
I'm just kind of astounded that people are saying that this is like a peak Spider-Man show and that it's like top 3 Spider-Man shows.
Yeah, bro, it's a top 3 Spider-Man show with how it's just not a Spider-Man show. It's
What do you want to title
Yeah.
it, Liam? League streams or something?
League streams.
These streams.
Yeah, I'm just gonna call this League Streams number 1.
So someone just said, do you think it's worse than the 2017 show or is it just as bad? Alright, so I knew this was coming. So let me just give a very straightforward answer about this, okay? You can say that you think it's worse, and that's totally fine. I think the show is bad, and I remember issues from years back. But the thing is that I haven't seen it in years and years. I might remember some problems, but still haven't seen it in years. So because of that principle, and I don't remember all the issues, I can't really say it's worse than Friendly Neighborhood, just because I don't remember it having as many issues as Friendly Neighborhood.
I've seen, 2 episodes? Because back when Spider-Man 2 came out, Liam and I marathoned all the black suit arcs to determine if Spider-Man 2 Insomniac was the worst one. It is.
It is.
How many is it in the 2017 show? Because that's how many episodes I've seen.
I think we only watched like one or I think it was like 2
It's 2,
or like
isn't
one
it?
and a half. It was pretty short and like pretty bad.
Yeah.
Crazy how some of the worst Spider-Man shit has came from like the last 5 years.
I know.
10.
Last
10 years.
15, actually.
You know what? Yeah. With
It's a
with
shame.
like very minor exceptions.
I mean, we got like No Way Home, which was a travesty. We got
No, the
Spider-Man
movie is
2,
perfect.
really bad.
Spider-Man
got
2 that ruined
this.
its potential. This, which is trash.
Well, yeah, Insomniac Spider-Man 2, PS4 was the one exception of just Spider-Man being fucking dead. It was like lightning in a bottle, and then Spider-Man 2 revealed to us that that lightning in a bottle was actually lightning in a bottle floating in like a poopy toilet, and someone just picked up the bottle, opened it, and farted in it.
Well, you guys know how, like, in murder investigations, there's like this post-mortem shit where the body starts shaking. You're like, oh my god, is he alive? That's like
Rigor mortis.
Spider-Man PS4. Yeah, that's Spider-Man
Yeah.
PS4. It's Rick and Mortis PS4.
Yeah, it's rigor
Oh my
mortis.
god,
That's so
is
good.
Spider-Man alive? Yes, he's alive! Oh no, wait.
No, fucking Spider-Man PS4 is like where is the origin of the word zombie? Because if you guys don't know, the reason the word zombie exists is because I don't know if this is actually true or if Max Brooks made this up. It's like a powder that voodoo priests would make that they could put you under, and it appeared to doctors at the time that you were dead. And so if you dose someone with it, they'd be like, oh fuck, they're dead, and they'd bury you. And then the powder would wear off. And if you were lucky, they'd go, oh shit, that guy's alive. He's trying to stop being buried alive. And they'll get you out, but you were under there too long, and now you have like severe brain damage because you were running out of oxygen. That's PS4.
Damn.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
what
I'm almost done with the settings.
Yeah, let's try to speed it up.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm almost.
Okay.
Oh, damn it.
Coming soon in Spider-Man 3.
But yeah,
By
like
Tommy.
here's my deal with the 2017 cartoon. You can convince me it's worse than Friendly Neighborhood, but in order to do that, you have to
What
point
about
out as
Ultimate?
many and as not just as many, but also as big of issues as what we're gonna say about Friendly Neighborhood. That's what it will take to get me to concede that. So
What about
Okay,
Ultimate, bro? What about Ultimate?
Just
Ultimate's
have
better,
this
like,
season
easily.
show on.
I've seen like 1.5 seasons of Ultimate because I didn't finish season 2. So far it's like as a TV show, it's like a 6. Obviously it's not like it's kind of the thing where it's like it's not a great Spider-Man adaptation, but as a TV show it's fine.
All right, we're streaming. All right,
We're streaming?
That's
Awesome.
mostly what I go under for Friendly Neighborhood is adaptation shit, because the whole like the plot itself is bad. I'm just so numb to that at this point. That's just the norm. Is that the writing on its own is just retarded. So I'm just like, okay, I don't care.
I miss when Spider-Man, even when it was badly told story-wise, at least was a Spider-Man story. Like, why can't we at least have that? That's my problem.
Yeah.
You want a good
Okay,
Spider-Man
I
story?
just
Make them
announced it,
married
so
again.
We're streaming.
Bro.
We're good to go.
Awesome. Chronos says I'm lying for views.
I don't
before we
even
get-
care if he's married. I just want fucking him to act like Spider-Man. That's like not that much to ask.
Before we get
Yeah,
started,
no, guys.
It-
For all intents and purposes,
boy,
Kronos
it-
has
no,
died.
William,
He
you're
will
not a
not
real
be
fan.
attending.
damn.
I am not a real fan. I haven't liked Spider-Man in 15 years, bro.
So, before we get started on the doc, I'm just gonna read off what someone just said. So what's the biggest issue with your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man?
Well, Spider-Man
What-
himself.
I would just
Oh my
say
God,
like the
this guy.
biggest issue with it
Peter, yeah.
is that, yeah, I guess Peter himself, just his character
Yes.
and like how they wrapped that up and how they did the origin, which I'm not gonna spoil it. I want Kronos to be surprised by something particular with Doctor Strange in the finale. So
Yeah, it's our Doctor Strange fanatics.
yeah, well, like, why don't we just get started straight up with episode
Yeah.
episode 1.
Yeah, well, we're about to. I want to say to summarize Peter. On his own, as just a random Billy Bob character in a random TV show, I remember him being the definition of mid. Maybe I missed something and you'll point it out. I remember him just being boring. He's just like, he's a good person because he's named Spider-Man, I guess. He's just boring. As Peter Parker, he's... Stop.
Mhm. Yeah, it's just the Markiplier meme. No! 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 What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing?
Literally.
He literally has no character arc, no like charisma. There's fucking nothing to
He's
him.
pretty much just Tom Holland without the immorality. If Tom Holland actually stuck to his moral code, that's Friendly Neighborhood.
Damn. Okay.
Bruh.
So yeah, why don't we just get started with episode 1. Let me just show this on OBS. Oh shoot. Make that big. Okay. So
hang on, us kids. I think the stream's like infinitely buffering. Is it working?
Oh, that's what I was about to check.
Okay, well.
Give me, I think sit for an ad, of course.
SK, you gonna stream it?
Yeah, I'm not on here, but on the YouTube thing. So
TK says, "Holy shit, a real Thumbcast episode." Yep, the king.
We have the king of Thumbcast here, Captain Kappa.
Yeah.
So yeah, just I want to just break down real quick.
Well, I think it's the audio set. Liam, I think it's your audio.
Oh damn.
Alright guys, someone is gone. I'll have to do my impression to make it still seem like it's here.
Wait, Skids. Also, the audio's not there.
No, damn it. Screw this. Forget it.
Forget it?
Okay. My internet's just not good enough for streaming. Liam, you're just going to have to do it. I'm sorry.
I'll do it.
That's all good. We'll iron this out later. But yeah.
Yeah, we're just going to do it exclusively here.
Yeah, just
no worries.
I want to start off and say that I'm fine with adaptational changes. In fact, I'm actually a lot more, I guess, lenient with it than Comic Legend and Paragon would be. But at the same time, it's like, I think if you're going to make changes, they need to be good. They need to either enhance the work, or we have something at least as substantive, as compelling, or at least somewhere that's comparable, and I'd be fine with changes. But the problem I have with this change right here is that they decided to kill Uncle Ben before Peter even gets his powers, and he already is okay with like standing up to bad guys and putting himself on the line to help people. And I guess the first problem I have with this is it kind of removes a whole lot of depth for Peter's character. If Ben just gets killed off screen, we don't know why, we don't know what it does for him as a character, we don't know how it changes him as a character. He just dies.
Comic, he was sickness.
Yeah, it's just, I know there's a prequel comic. I don't think I should have to read that for the show, but
yeah. When people have told me like read the prequel comic, it's like if I'm gonna read a comic for a Spider-Man show, I'm just gonna go read the actual comics. Like at that point, why am I bothering with adaptation?
Right.
Yeah, especially with like promotional comics like that, they literally just exist to be promotional material. And the moment that they want to cover any sort of area that's on, it's instantly its own thing that doesn't exist within the same canon.
At least with Halo 5, it's like, oh, that story, you need to do homework to understand what the fuck is happening in that game. At least it's a game series. So if I'm going off to read like fucking whatever stupid comic Tanaka is from, or some shit, at least that it's like, oh, a Halo like comic, that's kind of cool. With Spider-Man, it's like, I'll just read the reason I'm doing this is because it's an adaptation of a comic from 60 years ago. If you're gonna make me read comics, I'm just gonna go read Lee Ditko. Like at that point, I'll just eliminate the middleman. Like you're just wasting my time.
Yeah.
Don't you waste my mother effing time.
Yeah, I really don't think this change does anything to enhance Peter as a character. It doesn't enhance the story. It doesn't add anything. It kind of just makes it more.
Well, genuinely, SK, let me ask you, why is Peter a good person in this version?
He just is, and I guess Aunt May raised him. And
yeah, there's like no. This is something I've said ever since the first 2 episodes. There's no depth with Spider-Man's character if you get rid of the reason he's Spider-Man. Like, just because he does good things doesn't make him interesting. It's the reason why behind it that makes him interesting. If you get rid of that, he's really boring.
So, someone in chat just said, in all fairness, Spectacular and Ultimate both had Ben die off screen, but those shows still had him tied to the origin, so they're allowed to work with that. Okay.
Spectacular implied in the pilot that it was just the Dennis Carradine shit, and then in the third episode they basically confirmed it, and then by the end of the show we know it literally is just the same, except it's
That's
Vulcan
just
already
that's
Carradine.
so different because there's a difference between fucking like not touching the origin and assuming in basic good faith it's the same origin as it always
Yeah,
is.
they do mention Uncle
versus
Ben. They don't literally
actively
just
changing
ignore
it.
him like Friendly Neighborhood.
Well, also
Yeah,
it's like in the Spectacular,
Also,
they
Friendly
actually
Neighborhood, they explicitly scream from the mountains, "It is going to be different. It is not Dennis Carradine." And it's like, okay, so what is it?
yeah. And with Spectacular, like when he says that line about, I can't let what happened
I
happened
can't
to
let
Uncle
Harry
Ben.
lose his dad like I lost Uncle Ben.
Yeah. That already speaks more to his character than this entire episode has to say about Peter's character in Friendly Neighborhood. Like, that's actually a lot more depth that he's doing this because he failed in the past and he has to find some way to make up for it.
Well, remember, in the third episode of Spectacular, which had a longer season, by the way, so they had more time to fuck around. In the third episode, which is the lizard episode, they basically confirm it's the normal one, because he's about to be like, you know what? I'm done being Spider-Man, but then he sees the picture of Uncle Ben.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
also,
very heavily implied that
speaking
it's
of
the
Uncle
same
Ben,
origin.
I know some people, obviously part of the reason we kind of discussing this is also, how some people complain about the MCU not bringing up Uncle Ben, and people are like, you see, the show is better because they actually talk about him, even though...
But he's meaningless.
The problem with the MCU isn't that they don't mention him, it's that he doesn't feel important enough in those movies.
This feels like jingling keys, to be honest.
Yeah.
Well, no, it really annoyed me in Friendly Neighborhood, because the one time they bring up Uncle Ben is just to parallel him to Norman. It's not even because Uncle Ben is cool. It's like, wow.
Well,
Like,
we do see a picture of him. We do see
that
a
line-
picture of
Yeah,
him.
because they wanted to parallel him to Norman.
That line
yeah.
was actually awful by Norman. It made me want to. Ugh.
Yeah.
Sorry, Uncle Ben. Norman's cooler in the show. Eat shit.
Apparently.
You're
So
not allowed to be cool, Uncle Ben.
another thing that I really don't like is that, and I can give timestamps for this, but Doctor Strange shows up at like 3:12 in the show, 3 minutes and 12 seconds, and then he exits, like the whole thing is over, at 6:12. So like we basically stopped the origin, we stopped the whole plot for 3 whole minutes for a Doctor Strange action scene.
Well, that is even
Just
good.
so he can get his powers. Like, what is this adding? This is horrible pacing right here.
Oh yeah, by the way, I'm gonna go live as well. So like,
Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna just do it because like I might as well. I made the thumbnail.
Yeah, I
And-
think you're just going to have to do streams because I don't think my internet's good enough to
There.
have streams, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
fine.
I swear, if I ever get better internet or I move somewhere else, I'm going to try and make sure I get like the best internet freaking possible.
All right,
Sure.
let's.
Yeah.
Are we about to get? Are we
yeah,
about
but-
to get into why Doctor Strange is stupid here?
Well, not
give me
yet.
a sec.
I want to talk about this from a pacing perspective, right? From a pacing perspective, like we barely got anything done in this 3 minutes here, and this is like.
SK, before you move on to Doctor Strange, they try to have like this really heartfelt scene between Peter and May where it's like, oh man, you've been so helpful to me since Ben died. It's like, I've known you people for a minute and a half. This has no weight.
and
This is
also-
like they don't show anything. This is just
Yeah.
telling.
Yeah, plus we just barely even see May throughout the show. It isn't
Yeah.
until like what? The
She
episode
contributes to one episode.
the one after she loses, after Peter loses to Scorpion. That's like the only other scene I really remember her in.
Yeah. So Doctor Strange, we see that he's up against this Venom symbiote-like creature. It's like, okay, I guess he is. And then he grabs him with whips right here. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, okay, so you got his attention. Why don't you just open a portal right underneath him and put him anywhere? Like put him in the water, for example. Like he can't fly, so if you put him in the water, he's kind of fucked. You put him in like anywhere else other than a populated area, because he does have control of the sling rings. We do see that later on in this episode. So like he should already be relocating this symbiote creature straight away, and he doesn't.
I think my computer froze.
Is there any visual reference that you're putting on screen or something, SK?
Yeah, it's all on the stream. I have it very protected for copyright.
Oh damn.
Thank you for the 5 Star Wars hour. 3-minute out of a half-hour episode isn't really bad. Well, so it's a 24-minute episode, technically, if we exclude the credits. And yeah, 3 minutes, right, is... I feel like you're still wasting time, and the whole thing of him just getting his powers, that takes 8 minutes in this episode. They spend a third of it on him just getting his powers.
I'll be right back. My computer froze.
Okay.
Have you tried just getting a better computer? Haha.
But yeah, we then see like so the symbiote creature is running up to Strange, and then they're just like going hand to hand for some reason. I don't get the logic here. Like, Strange puts his hands up and then puts it against the symbiote, and it's like, what, you're doing a hand to hand thing? Okay.
Yes, going close range to fucking a symbiote as a ranged character.
The symbiote
Brilliant.
has no long range attacks.
Yeah, it gets even worse with the final fight scene in the finale, but obviously we're saving that till later.
Oh yeah, Doctor Strange let that bus crash into the building.
Yeah. We're going in order. I'm trying to give a visual reference so people can keep up.
Well, I'm not. I'm just showing gameplay in the background.
So yeah, Strange is like dealing with this symbiote creature thing, and he can flip gravity, right? So he can change the gravity in this area and just make everything fall down. And it's like, okay, so he does this to, at least he helps the guy that's there. So I assume it's only happening in this room. But then, yeah, he pushes the creature off, and then he opens a portal to a truck where there's, like, in the middle of the street.
Oh, sorry to cut off. Skids, are you gonna read the comments in the live chat? Or
I will.
All right, thank you. I'm gonna go to SK's so I can see what they're saying, because I'm assuming SK is gonna ignore his adoring fan base as always.
Of course.
Yeah,
I'll never ignore you guys. That's why I'm the king.
What a crappy human being.
Yeah, what a shitty YouTuber.
Yeah, guys, if y'all think SK should delete his channel, type 1 in the chat.
Okay.
Yeah, you're nowhere near as good as Keemstar.
Yeah, that's true. Keemstar's the greatest YouTuber of all time. Yeah, so
SK would be a better Doctor Strange. No, SK would be he would be one of the dumbest Doctor Stranges out there. He'd be like,
wow.
He'd be like, oh shit, I was late for a date. Time to make her forget. Memory wipe.
And SK would just completely forget to use that against Thanos.
SK, I hate you in every universe.
Wow.
Like, SK would just forget to use that amnesia spell against Thanos, by the way.
It was never an option in Star Wars power.
SK would go up to one of his like internet enemies like Nirvana and just be like, I think you're disingenuous in every universe.
Oh my god. That's crazy. Disingenuous in every universe. So yeah, again, drawing the fight towards a crowded area. Not a good look for his character. He's just a moron. So then he goes back and he basically pulls a Man of Steel. You see that he sees a truck being thrown at him that he could easily stop with a portal. He can put it at, like, literally anywhere, right? Instead, what he does is makes himself
I just thought of another thing.
And then well, hang on, real quick. He lets the bus or the truck, whatever, just slam right into the school when he could have stopped it.
Yeah, he could have used his time stone on it, but he could just use the time stone with symbiote to stop before he froze the truck,
or before he even got here.
Yeah.
Not only can he just like completely just control the symbiote with the time stone. Another problem is like, maybe I'm wrong, but like in the last episode, can he like turn the time stone, like use it with his portals to make people time travel?
Yes.
Why doesn't he just immediately send them back to like the present day when he portals them instead of on top of a bus?
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, we'll get to that when we get to that. So yeah, he's willing to use the time stone to reverse this, but he doesn't think, hey, maybe I should use the time stone to include when he threw it, so that I don't get attacked like this. Which,
Do
yeah,
not
he knows to do
compare
that
Man
later.
of Steel to this. Wait, who compared Man of Steel?
Me.
It's
well,
Darkstar. Wait, Darkstar said don't compare Man of Steel to
sucks.
this.
Yes,
I mean, I
will.
know that.
Yeah, well, no. you can't compare
Kronos
it
is
to
saying
Man
he
of Steel
can
and
what?
tries that
Kronos,
opposite, right?
don't question it till we get there. Don't question it till we get there.
Hey,
Oh
Liam,
yeah.
Hey, we got a question from our chat. It says, have you heard about Pushing Gray Raven game? Comic question.
Pushing what?
Punishing Gray Raven game.
What the fuck is that?
I don't know. That's what the guy says.
Yeah.
I don't know what Pushing Gray Raven game is. That sounds weird.
Punishing Gray. Sorry, I misspoke before.
Punishing Gray. No.
You always misspeak. Because you're disingenuous, bad faith. But yeah, strange.
By the way, SK, they want you to delete your channel.
Okay.
I'm also shut the fuck up. I'm reading the chat, not you. Also, another thing is like, this is like later established, but like it still applies to the first episode. He has the ability to literally automatically knock people out. Why can't he do that to the symbiote exactly?
Reasons.
Don't think about it. Just consume product and get excited for the next product.
Maybe he'll cause a time rupture, and that's why he barely uses the time stone. He uses the time stone to like stop like the bus from was it? I don't give a shit. He used the time stone to
school.
Yeah, he literally used it for a very like basic task when he could have just caught the bus in many different ways or portaled it before it hit the school. So no, he uses it very casually in the show. He doesn't he doesn't use it for just emergencies or anything. So no, it's not to like worry about time ruptures or whatever.
Yeah,
that's not established.
I mean, at least in the first Doctor Strange movie, the MCU, they make it very clear they're only allowed to use it for special emergencies.
Yeah,
like
but that's the Strange movie. Thank you for the 5 Star Wars hour. Also, Deadpool and Wolverine established the sling ring can transport to other universes. Why not send Venom there? Well, I suppose it's different because this is a different.
We
Doctor
don't know
Strange.
the capabilities of this Doctor Strange. Let's literally only use the stuff that he can do in the show. Let's not use the MCU.
Yeah, but
even
we do
though
have
it
references
is like
in the finale.
Yeah, you also gotta remember
like,
though, the MCU does not have any synergy with its multiverse. So, like hypothetically, just because one can do it doesn't mean the writers are gonna acknowledge that they can do that.
Also, Doctor Strange's presence, like Doctor Strange's presence in this whole fucking show, it's literally just a fucking cameo.
Yep.
I mean,
it's just, hey guys,
Strange kind of cameos in a lot of Spider-Man stories early on.
Get to see him. Like, we don't get to see him until the finale.
Yeah.
Again. I don't even understand why like we needed Doctor Strange anyways in like this show. Like it does nothing but
origin.
Like it just does nothing but unnecessarily change the origin for literally the worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't add anything.
Comic Legend, we got another comment. Is this from League? It says, okay, SK. I think the battle between Strange and the symbiote was meant to be for action.
Okay, so
okay.
I don't care. The action should add to the story. You shouldn't just put action scene just for the sake of it. That's not good writing.
In fairness, to be a little bit of a contrarian, you can use action to like set the tone of what kind of like story this is gonna be. Like in Spider-Man PS4, like the story like starts with like, yeah, man, we're fighting the Kingpin, and just immediately bombs are exploding.
But that adds to the story.
Yeah.
In the long run, well, that's because that's way more of a competent story. But like, you know.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Spider-Man PS4 is a generous 1 out of 10.
It is a generous 1 out of 10.
So yeah, we have Peter standing up to this symbiote thing. I just think the whole idea that Peter's already willing to fight Venom without his powers. I'm just gonna ask people this in chat, right? So it's because we have Peter standing up here, we have him getting bitten by the spider, and then we have the intro, and then we have it skip to a few months later. I'm just gonna ask the chat right now. Can you tell me one thing that has changed between Peter, as far as character, right? As far as when Peter didn't have his powers versus a few months later when he accepted that it's his job to be Spider-Man. Where, you know, he's already good at swinging, he's already accepted, yeah, I'm gonna put my my school commitments aside to fight crime. Like, he's already, like, accepted that. So I'm just gonna ask the people in chat, how did he change since he actually had his origin story? What changed about him?
Why would he change?
Comic legend, that joke doesn't work because the
My
video is
whole
not.
point, while you guys answer by this question, my whole point here is that as a character, he didn't change, even though this is an origin story about his upbringing, where the hero came from, and there's nothing of substance here, and yeah, we don't see him grow at all. We don't see him grow into accepting the responsibility, accepting the weight this has on his shoulders.
Bro, the only argument that was given for that is he was all talk and no action before he got his powers. What kind of argument is that?
He was actually.
Yeah, bro. The guy without powers is all talk and no action against a superhuman. So that's the difference.
What am I even hearing?
I don't know, just rambling.
Comic legend, do you know what that is?
What?
Skill issue.
He changed by getting older by a few months. I mean, yeah, basically. Like, yeah,
true.
and someone just said right now, this Spider-Man is a blank, boring, goody two-shoes character. This is what it feels like. There's no, like, actual progression there.
I want to say this about Spider-Man's character too. Like, I feel like the thing is, this is kind of the end point of where Spider-Man's characterization in media has been going for a while. Like, they've always like made him a little bit of a softie each time, but now this is like the end point where he's not even he is so sanitized of a character, he's not even allowed to be an asshole before he's Spider-Man. Like, that is insane to me. That's literally against the point of Spider-Man, is like he's supposed to be like a little bit of a selfish person. He's supposed to he's self-serving. He only cares about himself and his family, and he thinks the whole world can hang because they all bullied him and like made him feel like an outcast. But then when he learned that valuable lesson when his uncle died, he turned into a hero and he changed for the better. That's like a compelling story, and they got rid of that and didn't even replace it with anything. He's just automatically always a good guy before anything happened in his life, apparently.
I mean,
yeah, it feels like the opposite extreme of you're saying the lives of a billion strangers are more important than my loved ones.
Yeah, well,
I would literally say if he didn't get his ass kicked so much in the show, he'd be a flat out Gary still. He's not a bad person in any regard. The only time he did anything remotely morally ambiguous was when he considered like killing Scorpion near the end. But even then, I don't even think it's that big of a deal because Scorpion is a psychopathic murderer.
Yeah. Anyway, can I say my thing, please?
Yeah.
No,
that's just kind of an issue with a lot of things involving media lately, where they're just afraid to like criticize their characters. Like, they don't want to be too harsh. Like, writers don't want to be too harsh to the characters they created, or at least the characters they changed, where they're basically characters they created. They're like, oh, we can't be too harsh on them, otherwise, the audience won't like them. They just seem to think that trying to make a character likable is just making them like without any flaws.
I mean, his tough. Alright, we got some more comments. I mean, his tough guy act was a front to intimidate. No, it wasn't. That was not what he was doing. He immediately turned into like a pussy. Like after Venom like walked up to him, and he's like, "Oh, you're so big and scary." Blah 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 blah. That's not an act. He's just he like didn't fake anything. He's just a good guy who wanted to save Sneeko from symbiote, and then like he gets his powers. He's a good guy still.
Yeah.
So
it's so boring.
Would you agree my assessment, like what I just said, the thing I said earlier? I mean, it's just a trend that I've been noticing.
Yeah. I need to mention this as well, because this is actually pretty bad. I actually think this really damages Aunt May as a character in this scene.
Didn't like take Peter away from the fucking monster.
I was getting there, yes. So she just recently lost Uncle Ben. I imagine she'd be very worried about Peter. So
quite protective.
So Doctor Strange and Venom show up, and she just doesn't evacuate Peter as soon as possible. Like, they just stand there, watch. And they're still just around at the school. They haven't evacuated. I think it is actually really bad for Aunt May as a character that she didn't immediately evacuate Peter and get him the hell out of here. That is her number one priority.
She's just standing there.
Yeah.
Menacingly.
Like, that's basic. That's a form of child endangerment, right there. for no
She
reason.
was standing here for 3
Okay.
minutes.
Yeah.
180.
I got another defense in our chat, in the lead chat. The guy says, well, the difference between Man of Steel and Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man is that there was massive destruction in Man of Steel, where Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man has minimal damage.
That's not an argument.
That is true. I don't think it's the same degree as Man of Steel, but what I will say is like with the truck scene in particular, that felt very similar to when like Superman just let the oil tanker just explode behind him.
It's
and he just
literally
looks
the
at it,
same
he's
thing.
like,
Yeah,
that was
when we
my
were
point.
watching it, you were literally like, "Oh my god, they did the Man of Steel thing."
Yeah. I mean, plus, for all Strange knew, there were still people inside the building. So
Yeah,
he
or the
doesn't
car,
know that-
maybe.
Yeah.
They rip off Miles's origin. I don't. Here's the thing. I kind of understand because Miles doesn't start off selfish with his powers, but I don't agree because like, at least what makes Miles interesting with his powers is that like when he first gets them, he doesn't feel like he's good enough to be a hero, so he has like tons of anxiety and shit from it, and
Which we
like
don't
he
get
just
from the
has
show.
that lack of self-confidence. But yeah, that's not in the show. Like, if they did that, at least he'd be a compelling character. He wouldn't be a good Peter Parker, but he'd be more compelling.
Mhm.
They literally, like, took, like, the idea of Miles, but not the execution that made it work.
Yeah, like, I remember I told this to you, Liam, last night when we were talking. It's kind of the reason why people think Peter and Miles are too similar nowadays, because they just basically take Miles' traits.
Liam has
and
actually
insert
said
them
that
in Peter.
exact thing before.
Yes, like, it's actually ironic. People
said
think
that
Miles
when
is a
we were in a
copy of
call,
Peter, but it's the reverse. Peter's a copy of Miles. It's really fucking funny. More
Well-
times than not, they write Peter Parker like he's Miles Morales more than they will write Miles like he's Peter Parker.
Well, it's funny because
It
we
is
look
really
at
weird.
we look at this compared to the recent Miles adaptation, where Miles in Into the Spider-Verse, what happened is that once he got his powers, he was like, no, he like denies it. He doesn't know what to do. He's anxious about it. He refuses to help Spider-Man when he sees him like near the point of death because he's afraid. And then when he sees that, he feels guilty about it. That's something that actually drives his motivations moving forward. I can't let Spider-Man die, neither can I. There's a lot of great work done with Miles as a character to show him progressing. We see him not just like getting used to his powers, but also him learning to accept what it means to be Spider-Man, what it means to take on that burden. Like, we actually get that progression. We don't get it from this show. He's just like, oh, I'm Spider-Man now. And he just accepts it all.
His lack of self-confidence makes him feel guilty and burden himself with the responsibility of Spider-Man, which is actually kind of a compelling twist on like the idea of being a Spider-Man character. But the problem with the show is that it does neither. It doesn't do the whole, my confidence like is the reason something bad happened, or it doesn't do my selfishness is the reason something bad happens. It's neither. It's just he's good from the start.
Nothing bad happened.
This Peter seems to not even carry any guilt at all. Like, it doesn't seem like he feels guilty for anything that happened in the past. So he's not Spider-Man based off of like guilt or a feeling of obligation. It's just he's Spider-Man because he's automatically already a good person. It takes all of the edge out of this character and makes him really flat and boring.
Yeah.
I don't know why they're doing this. And like Friendly Neighborhood is like the end point of this adaptation being the norm for like the longest of times.
Yeah, hey, SK, we got a comment that says, it's a different universe, and also SK, delete your channel, you're a bad faith critic.
Okay. I mean,
yeah, no, I agree.
I mean, the whole different universe
I
thing
agree
is
with that
like,
part, yeah.
Yeah,
So
you
it's a
are
di-
disingenuous, bad faith cope.
That's true. Okay, it's
Bad
a
faith
different
critic.
it's a different universe, but like,
I think
it's
it's
a
meant to
bad
be a
one.
joke,
Like,
but
make it interesting.
might be a joke
Yeah, well-
for I don't know
Oh
who
my-
said it because I'm not in league
That
chat.
could that could be a joke, but even if we were to take this seriously, I want to say I hate the different universe argument because it's like, okay, we're not just saying that it's not accurate to the comics. It's not a good change.
It's
the
not
change
good
sucks.
writing.
Yeah.
Yes, and like also if your new take is literally you take out all the interesting stuff and that's just the new take, your new take sucks balls and you're just a flat out downgrade. That's
I
like a
remember that-
downgrade
like,
still.
I remember
remember-
that one Godzilla Mendoza clip on
Yeah, he
Twitter.
said
It was
that.
just like, it's a new take with all the good parts cut out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, clearly.
Starkster
Yep.
says, well, can't this Spider-Man just be a static character? It's like,
I'm
you
not
know,
res-
static characters still fucking have like an origin. Batman is usually a static character. He
static?
still is
Okay.
Batman for a reason.
Static
That's the
does
thing.
not mean like uninteresting. characters can be static and still be fun characters. Like, Liam, you've played Halo. What character arc does Sergeant Johnson have in the games? I think he actually does have a character arc in Contact
He went
Artist.
from alive to dead.
Yeah, exactly. That's his character arc. He died. But he's still a really enjoyable character. Like, good golly, Miss Molly. Like, he's so much fun.
Ooh,
And he
I
had-
love what the ladies like.
Well, also, like, I
Also,
really
Peter's
don't
the
like that
protagonist,
argument that,
though.
like, oh, can he just be a static character? We're talking about an origin story here. Like, good origin
That's a good
stories
point.
transform our characters. This is where he
Yeah, the
comes from.
The whole point of the origin is that you change. That's the point
Yeah.
of like your origin. Is like this is the moment you changed. That's the story.
This is
That's
what
like the
defines
point of an
you
origin.
for years to come.
Why did it change?
Why do you change?
Why is Bruce Wayne Batman? Because he changed. He fucking saw his parents die, so he put on a bat costume and changed.
Plus,
Why
also-
is Spider-Man like? Why is Peter Parker Spider-Man? Because he changed. Because Uncle Ben died because of him. It's like
Yeah,
that's
no.
the point of an origin. It's like, can you make someone a static character after the origin? Sure, but we still need a reason why they're acting like this.
Yeah, plus
Yeah.
also just like to add, Peter's still clearly meant to have an arc in the show, or there's at least an attempt at it, but it's just not done well.
It's just boring.
It is
Yeah.
boring.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
His
very
character
clearly
arc
he's
is,
not
oh
meant
no,
to
I
be
got my
part of
ass
the
beat. Well, you know what? Take this, Scorpion, stupid bitch. That's his character arc.
So,
He doesn't even beat Scorpion, but whatever.
what's the best side character, you guys?
Right now,
the
it's
best-
Lonnie. Right now.
Nico? No, I don't
Nico's
Also-
awful towards the end, but
Oh yeah.
I don't think I think Nico's like the only good character. Lonnie, as far as I remember, is really,
Really?
inconsistent.
all right.
Actually, there's
I'll
a
save
really-
what I have to say for Sneeko for later. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, who's
Yeah.
this Nico character? Like,
Yeah,
all
I'm
I know
talking
is
about
Nico
Sneeko.
from
Shut
the
the
show.
fuck up, you fat ugly moron.
I want to talk about so yeah, he has this fight where he saves Harry Osborn, and then he goes to school, and I guess we're just doing like basic introductions to his cast, which is fine enough. Like, there's not much to really poke at. It's like you have to start somewhere. It could go well. It could
I will
not go
say,
well.
I want to say that, like, I know we want to keep adaptation shit low, but like, this is a really good point as to why you don't do that. Don't you guys just love how there's no Flash Thompson, so he has no like bullying conflict at school. There's no Gwen Stacy or Mary Jane Watson, so he doesn't have love troubles.
He doesn't feel like
Yes,
an
the
outcast.
adaptation.
Technically, we haven't gotten to this part yet, but Aunt May's barely in the show, so there's no money troubles or health problem troubles.
I mean,
There
Isn't
was
it-
in like episode 2, I believe. Actually, wasn't it
I mean-
2 or it was one of the episodes?
okay, but
Yeah, what
it
he
gets
was-
resolved
There was
like,
what?
3.
immediately.
What are you
Yeah,
talking
it gets
about?
resolved really fast, but there is money. I think they do like establish one of the reasons he considers he wants to kind of still work as an intern in Oscorp is like the money for Aunt May. I think that was
Yeah.
like one.
Oh,
Well,
yeah,
yeah,
Nico.
but it doesn't.
Talk about
Well,
Nico.
yeah, but that's just giving money to her anyway. They never say she needs the money. I don't think it's not like Spectacular, where the first 5 minutes of the show,
It's
she's
not
like, "Oh God,
emphasized
I'm
as
going
well.
bankrupt." What?
Yeah.
It's
The
not
closest
emphasized
thing-
as well.
the closest
Well, no,
thing I
because
can
it
think
literally
of
gets
is-
resolved. That's why it's not emphasized.
I mean, the closest
Yeah, and
thing
one
I
of the
can think
most
of is
one of the
her
most
showing some
relatable parts
Uncle
about
Ben
Spider-Man
stuff.
currently
That's
is
really
money
about it.
troubles. Why not adapt that?
Someone tried to say Harry is fine in the show. No, I don't think Harry is fine in the show.
No,
Harry
we'll
is
get to
pretty
that.
fucking awful. We'll get to that when we get to that.
Wait, what's bad about
But, like,
Harry
yeah,
that's
we'll get
not
to-
adaptation?
We'll get to that when we get to that.
Harry's boring, ignoring the adaptation
Well-
part of it. But
I'm sensing that I've missed some things.
You have. there's a lot to go through, but yeah,
Wait, Summer Child.
I just want to mention real quick. So, yeah, Peter's doing some basic stuff. There's some basic introductions. The only character that I'm actually invested in right now is Lonnie, and the reason I'm invested in him right now is because like we actually see he has stuff going on in his life. It's not just the typical school stuff. We see that he doesn't get really. His community doesn't look at him greatly sometimes because like the police with the profiling, we had like the family just looking at him weird. I do like that they're doing that, even though people are gonna be like, whoa, woke, whatever. I do think it actually can be good for Lonnie's character. I guess I'd say my only problem is that they don't really build upon that later on, and I actually think
the
they kind of
police thing?
undermine some of it.
I will.
The police thing, I actually really like the way Bolt put it, because he defends the show a lot, and I disagree. But I will say I do like the way he puts that, which is that it's not like a racism commentary. The reason they're doing that is because it's just a show that he feels like excluded.
Yeah. I think that's totally fair.
Do we learn that Nico is an orphan here or some later episode?
I think
yeah,
so.
I don't know.
I think it's a bit later.
That could have been like used to explore her character, but they don't.
But it wasn't. Yeah.
Well,
you're right.
Aren't you excited? She's gonna be a Runaways character, bro.
Well, one of the things I want to say is like every time we like point out problems with the side cast or like the main characters and all that, it's insane because it's like all the differences, like they just make everything less interesting. Like everything is so much more boring and not deep anymore. Peter's like changing the origin made him a boring character. He's not compelling. I don't care why he's Spider-Man because he doesn't have an emotional reason. I don't feel bad for him anymore because like in most versions of the story, it's like you feel for him because he's doing this because he let his dad die. So you like really do feel for him when he like
I don't know
ruins
why
his
you
life to be
changed it.
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man's origin is genuinely perfect.
Yeah.
It's
Like
one of
him
the best. I would argue it's the best superhero origin like out of any other character. It's really fucking good.
I think Batman is on the same footing.
Batman's is pretty good too. I will say I prefer Spider-Man's. I think Spider-Man is a way better origin than Superman. I think it's way more compelling.
I think Spider-Man, Peter Parker at least, is my favorite origin.
Yeah, Peter's origin specifically is the most like relatable, down to earth like origin I've ever heard.
It's the most iconic, if I'm gonna be honest.
It's also just brilliant. It's just such a brilliant like thing to like have a super like it's so like understandable what he does with his powers. It's like he doesn't rob banks or kill people. He gets his powers and he does what literally any of us would do. Like just use it to make money.
Yeah,
Like,
not even in a bad way. He's just honestly, the way to put it is just the thing he did in Spectacular when he was trying out for football. It's just, I mean, other people are allowed to use my natural talents. Why can't I?
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's not doing anything bad. He's just wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a selfish asshole, but that's not because of what he's doing exactly. It's just the way he's acting. Like it's nuanced and interesting and really relatable, and they got rid of that in this version. It's the problem with a lot of Spider-Man adaptations. They change it, and it's like the change makes it boring. It's just, now you made this lame. Peter's story sucks now because I don't even feel for the reason why he's Spider-Man.
Exactly.
Like his supporting cast. It's a new take. It's like, yeah, the new take is that's boring now. We don't have a three-dimensional character like Flash Thompson. We don't have like a Liz Allen where it's like somebody who was a generic teenager cheerleader at first, but then learned to like have a softer side and like try to pursue a relationship with Peter. But Peter, like, yeah, it's like we don't have those interesting kind of characters anymore. It's replaced with Sneeko, who's just I hate rich people and I dye my hair blue.
Capitalism bad.
Yeah, but we have like Lonnie Lincoln, who turns into Spider-Man 3 Sandman. We'll get to that later. We have Harry Osborn, who's like, "Hey man, I'm rich and I don't know what raisins are because I'm rich and out of touch."
How does he not know what raisins are?
But he knows what caviar is somehow.
Yeah,
man.
We'll get more into that.
I'm so sick of being rich and popular, man. Like that's his whole character now. Like it's boring. Like you just turned everything into like a lamer version of what it's supposed to be. If that's what you guys think a new take should be, then I don't respect you guys' like understanding of good writing at this point.
I thought you were just gonna say that I don't like you.
Yeah,
I really do not like you. If you're gonna go, it's a new take, so it's good that everything is boring now and it's just worse. If the new take was actually like bold and creative, then I'd understand, but it's not that. It's not Terry McGinnis Batman Beyond or something.
I was literally about to say the perfect example of change is Batman Beyond.
Yeah,
because Batman Beyond is really creative, and now because they took that risk, we have arguably the best future scenario for Batman.
Hey,
it's fucking not. I will find you. It's fucking not that. What it is, it's just, we took everything you like out of the character and we made them boring.
I'm just thinking the Patrick being, why don't we take the good adaptations and push them somewhere else?
Agree that we can.
Bro, that's kind of close-minded. No, it's not close-minded to go, hey, if you're gonna change something, you like don't make it boring. Don't make it a lamer version of what it's supposed to be.
Make it good.
Yes, that's not close-minded. It's not close-minded to ask for like keep
Quality.
the good shit, keep the depth, and like the writing and like the intrigue of these characters while doing something different. That's not closed-minded. That's asking for like a basic amount of quality.
Kronos who said the Flash
Yeah, and
season 1
respect
is
for the
better than the
character.
show. I have to agree wholeheartedly. Barry Allen has a compelling origin. I love his origin story. I actually feel for Barry Allen as a character in that show.
Yeah.
At least it also has interesting, cast supporting characters and actually an interesting villain.
Absolutely. I liked Eddie Thawne. I liked Joe.
And Mason Lucas.
I mean, Iris was fine at first. It kind of just went downhill. I liked Barry's dad. He was great in the show.
How would you
I wanna
make
say
this
about
show? I would
Change-
make Keemstar the main character. That'd be how I'd make this show. 10 out of 10.
Also, another thing about Change is like, if you want to do Change with like Spider-Man, you want to do like a brilliant new idea or whatever, at least have actual balls. Because the problem with like Friendly Neighborhood is that it's not actually bold. It's just really basic and
It's
generic.
really
It's just
I don't know.
Yeah,
Personally, I think it's really bold to replace all his side characters with characters that have absolutely nothing to do with Spider-Man. That
Well-
from the fucking things they took from the comics.
well, it's like
Like,
everything
guys,
is.
we're taking inspiration from Untold Tales. Okay, who's a side character? An Avengers Academy character. It's like, okay then.
Well,
Yeah.
it's
And then
well
she
back
sucks
to
anyway. Finesse has
back
no
to us.
character.
Yeah, back to what I was saying. Like the problem is, it's like it's like what the change is also with this stuff is that it's generic shit. Peter's a generic, boring white protagonist with no depth.
White.
That's who he is. He's boring. He's not. They didn't turn him into anything crazy or different. He's just, I am generic, likable protagonist. That's lame.
Yeah,
And it's like, oh, the goth stand up like a female friend of his, the bully, but he's not actually it's like the football player, but whoa, like subversion. He's not actually.
He's not
a
an
bully.
asshole. Oh my god.
Whoa, it's boring and uncreative and not risky even. Like the kind of change that I like is at least ones that have balls. Because like I like Spider-Man Unlimited, but the reason I like Spider-Man Unlimited is firstly they don't change Peter's characterization. He still acts like Peter from the comics. They just put him in a new scenario that's interesting. What if Spider-Man was in like this crazy counter Earth ruled by
High evolutionary.
the High Innovationary?
Yeah. The white.
It's
version.
like yeah, and then we get some crazy like interesting like ideas with it. It's like, oh, what would Spider-Man do if he has to sacrifice going to back to his home with his like loving girlfriend or wife Mary Jane to save another Earth, which could take years? Would he be willing to make that decision? Oh, like how would the High Evolutionary think of Peter as a specimen? He's the perfect amalgamation of like animal and human. Wouldn't that be like something he's interested in? And in a way, he kind of is in the show. And it's like, well, that's a really cool idea. That's a neat concept. And it's like, what if Spider-Man like had to be in a world where like Peter Parker is just as much of an outcast as Spider-Man now because like, it's an anti-human world and shit. It's like, that's an interesting take. That's a new take, but it's like, it's refreshing because they don't just take away the depth. Peter is still interesting because he has his moral sensibilities, his origin story, and everything else intact. But you put him in a scenario that challenges it. Yeah, with great power comes great responsibility, even the sacrifice of your own happiness. Should you sacrifice your entire fucking planet for another? Should you just never go home, like possibly, to fight for the rights of people on another planet? That's a really, really hard question to ask someone like Spider-Man. That's interesting. That's new. That's a fresh take. That's like
Innovation.
actually like creative.
Yeah.
He literally.
If we got that, I wouldn't be complaining this much. But we don't. We just get, oh, what if it's a generic Spider-Man story where he has to defend the neighborhood, but everything is just not accurate for no reason, and all the characters are really boring and one-dimensional and don't have their depth.
Trash.
What a great take, guys!
Someone said Tasm Peter or Friendly Neighborhood Peter. I'm giving it to Tasm.
Tasm at least has balls.
Yeah, and also like what I'm gonna say is the only reason I won't say that this version of the character is as bad as MCU and Edge of Time is that at the very least he's not cool with letting the world die for stupid ass reasons. Like that's the only thing I can give him.
Yeah, he's still actually a hero this time around.
At least he's a superhero.
Yeah, and
all I can
also
say.
because Edge of Time is just in another field on its own. Because as we all know, Peter David wrote it, so it's obviously a
Obviously it's
masterpiece.
Yeah.
I've-
Who wrote this show?
I said this
Probably
yesterday
Peter
when I was
David.
talking about TASM. You were there, Paragon, but it's really fun. It's really funny. I feel like the problem with the TASM universe is like Peter is like a fairly comic accurate Spider-Man, but in this evil, horrible Cthulhuan world, which is the Amazing Spider-Man universe.
Man.
It's like he's in just such a shitty setting and
so
and there's like
unfortunate.
terrible writing and stuff.
Because Andrew Garfield is a great pick for the character. So
he's the best. He's the best actor for Spider-Man in live action, honestly.
After you say that when Nicholas Hammond exists, pal.
But yeah, let's try to get back to the show real quick. I want to just mention right now that so they have this scene where Peter is showing like compassion to this one criminal, who's like,
oh yeah, the pandering scene.
Yeah, it feels like pandering to me. Like I was curious to see where they would go with some of this stuff, but this really doesn't lead anywhere. It doesn't actually tie into anything about Peter's character, and I think what it would have been interesting is if there was actually I guess a journey for Peter to learn the nuance between criminals, learning to be more understanding of them. And I think a really good example of a show that tries to do this is Spectacular Spider-Man, where in episode 2, he sees that, he's like, oh, the thug alert. He just immediately assumes the worst and goes after him, makes fun of him. He's not exactly nice to him. And that's what causes Electro to actually be as villainous as he is, when he was just a guy trying to run away and he didn't want to hurt anybody at first, and he just started lashing out. I think that's actually really good, for a really good teaching moment for Peter Parker as a character. He's like, wow, this guy needed help and I didn't realize it. His life was trashed. You know, at least I could have tried. I think that's good writing there. But with this episode, we don't actually get any kind of growth. We don't have any kind of progression. He's just, oh, I understand. I'm the nice guy. And that's lame in comparison. Which one? I'm gonna ask the chat right now. What I just said about Spectacular and what I just said about Friendly Neighborhood, which do you prefer and which is better?
Yeah, okay, can I read some more comments for our...
Go for it.
Yes,
while we
kids.
wait.
It says, comment legend, hot take. A Spider-Man anime, then it would be way better with great writing and animation than other adaptations we are getting due to Sony and Disney screwing over the IP.
What?
They both screwed it over.
Wait,
basically-
shush. I don't understand what the
basically,
point is.
the guy's basically saying that we should probably get like a Spider-Man anime or something like that, as basically something that isn't made by either Sony or Disney.
At this point, yes.
You know, it's anything like the Japanese show, then yeah, go for it. That's a great example of changing the formula up. I mean, it's not Spider-Man at all, but you know,
But it
it's
was
still
peak,
fun.
bro.
Everyone's saying
Yeah,
Spectacular
exactly,
right
great.
now, to no one's shock.
It's
Yeah,
great,
delete your
and it's
channel.
directly responsible for
Because
Power
Spectacular
Rangers,
is
so-
way better than Friendly Neighborhood, and people like
Well-
comparing the two are insane. I don't understand. They're just
I'm
not.
I'm
it's
gonna
not
be
even
real.
close.
Like, looking at the standards people hold like other shows or movies to, or games, to be exact. If you're saying that Spectacular and Friendly Neighborhood are on the same level, or that like Friendly Neighborhood is better than Spectacular, I'm sorry. That's kind of just, that feels delusional to me.
I agree.
I don't know what to say. There's no
is-
other word.
It
Even in
feels, yeah.
terms of visuals, genuinely, I don't understand how they can be compared. Because Spectacular is absolutely gorgeous, and the
It
art
looks
style
great.
is really cool. Friendly Neighborhood, the animation is like okay at its best moments, except the like big trailer moments where, yeah, obviously it's like, man, I wonder where all the budget went.
Yeah.
And the art style is dishonest and garish. Because
Yeah.
it's just garish in general. And then they're like, look, guys, it's the 60s. We took inspiration from the 60s. And then you open that box and it's the most overly modern dog shit ever. It's like, yeah, the 60s.
It feels dishonest, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, another thing I want to comment on the poor, on like helping the poor criminal scene or whatever. This is like something I feel like people don't understand about Spider-Man these days. Like, one of the more interesting traits about Spider-Man is when he does those quips and stuff. It may be good at throwing off the villains and shit, but like as a consequence, it's really bad at helping criminals because he antagonizes them even when he shouldn't, and he doesn't know, and he's not the best at helping like people through situations like that because not everyone should be. Peter has to learn those nuances over time, and that what makes him like a more interesting character. They just kind of get rid of that when they make him like just sympathize with bad guys immediately. It just kind of like. And once again, it takes away all like the sauce from this character, like all the fucking like all the shit there that makes him as
There's no
interesting
depth.
as he should be.
There's no progression.
I can't believe I heard you
Like
say
I talked to I talked to SK about this when we were talking about the Craven episode. It's like, it's so compelling to me because like I used to like not think twice of that episode and just go, oh my god, they turned Craven into a furry. That's lame. But then I rewatched it recently. I'm like, you know what? It is actually really interesting that the reason Craven turned into that is kind of Peter's fault, because Peter just kind of made fun of him, made him feel like a joke, and it hit his pride, so he went too far. Like a good portion of that's because Peter didn't like sympathize with the bad guy. He wasn't like, Craven.
It was E621.
Yeah, he doesn't go, Craven, you're doing the wrong thing. When? No, he just goes, Craven, you're a dumbass. I'm not a fucking animal. There's Spider-Man. Spider-Man, get it? Dumbass.
I'm not your father. I don't give a fuck about you.
I'm just imagining him as fucking.
Literally,
I'm just imagining Peter as Pat God, just being like, "You're gross, you're nasty, you're weird. Your dad has doodle cups, his beard.
Yeah,
Stuff I
hey
did."
guys, I
Literally.
know what
Spider
Peter-
Pack.
Spider
Hey guys, I
Pack.
know what Peter should have said. This is what Peter
Why
should have
would-
said to the. No, I'm talking. This is what Peter should have said to the criminal, to the poor criminal.
You're broke! You're fucking poor!
Yeah, I would have
What?
actually liked if we saw a scene where he goes to the criminal and he starts making fun of the person, and then he sees crying and he's like, whoa, what's going on here? And he asks about it, and then he starts to rethink what he's doing a bit.
Electro's another good example. Like you said, it's like he antagonized him without knowing his situation. He's a thug alert. Haha, let me get a close up without that stupid mug, and he takes his like
He
helmet
basically
off and
humiliated
then
him.
goes fucking wild.
Yeah,
Yeah,
on
he
his
gets
worst
pissed
day.
off.
I
Hey,
find it
William,
really funny.
Thanks to Spider-Man's like lack of empathy, essentially, and like being and like not like sympathizing with criminals all the time, he literally like created Electro. Electro's half his fault because he did that. If he didn't do that, then Max Dillon would never be like a wanted criminal from the police, and he wouldn't be desperate enough to terrorize Dr. Connors. Like Peter's the one who set him off.
I also like
That's
how,
interesting.
Yeah, I also like how they stay consistent with that, and they show in the episode opening night where he meets his Uncle Ben's killer. You know, he sees that this guy is clearly sorry about it, and that he clearly has tried to change, and his response to that is just to be like, you know, this won't change anything, you're not forgiven. I like that he's just lashing out still against him because of what happened, because obviously he's not a mature Spider-Man. He's not a very mature one like Tobey Maguire's, for example. He still has a lot of growing to do. So that was an interaction that I liked.
Never that desperate.
Yeah.
Okay, I got a couple things to say. First, Liam, do you have the soundboard muted or something? Because that's what I've been doing. And you said
I turned on the soundboard now. Yeah, I had it muted because
yeah.
people in Wayne Manor are annoying with it, so I had to turn it off.
Earlier I played the Andrew Tate quote.
You're broke. You're fucking poor.
Okay, and here's the second thing. I got a comment. Does this Spider-Man have a J. Jonah to slander and be as bad faith as SK?
No. SK needs to be the J. Jonah Jameson of season 2. They need to hire him.
They do need to hire me. I would love to play that role.
Guys, we have footage of Spider-Man in the font right here, and just pay attention to me right now, news folk. Hit him.
He's nerfed.
Hit him.
Here's a better idea.
Hit him. See, guys, Spider-Man does not care about the people. He didn't efficiently take out the villain, so Spider-Man's a menace to society. That's just fucking J. Jonah Jameson.
Here's a better idea. How about instead of doing Daily Bugle, they just do Drama Alert and Keemstar's JJJ?
No. Well, Keemstar's the greatest YouTuber of all time, so, you know.
What is up, Drama Alert Nation? Spider-Man is a menace. As you can see here, we have leaked footage.
All right, before we proceed, someone just asked me, SK, opinions on Gwen being Spider-Gwen later on, apparently no universe travel.
Oh no.
That it's just one of those things that just doesn't surprise me, that they're just throwing shit in. Because this is my big problem with this. People criticize TASM 2 and Spider-Man 3 for putting too much stuff in. This is the worst example of it. I'm gonna be blunt. Like, especially with that finale.
I laughed my ass off when I learned. I thought it was hilarious.
It's crazy.
Why not wait and instead of revealing the show itself?
As long as they have Haley Steinfeld voicing the character, I'll be all good.
Bro, she's married.
So
that is definitely.
So let's
Hey guys,
let's move forward.
I'm Shamik Moore. Guys, I'm secretly Shamik Moore this whole time.
I guess I like the callback to Civil War or whatever. It's fine. But we'll before we move to episode 2, I'm just gonna give my number rating for this episode. This is a 4 to me.
Oh God, it was like a 5 earlier.
No.
Wait,
it's
what
a
makes
4.
it a 4 again?
it's okay. So Peter's origin is bad. Aunt May is out of character at the beginning. Doctor Strange is a moron, and it wastes the pacing of the origin. They skip ahead to where Peter's just immediately accepted being Spider-Man, and some weightless pandering. It's a very weightless episode, and has some broken elements. It's not completely broken, but
The lacking depth, I guess, is the point. That's fair. The lacking depth of the
Alright.
story makes it bad. That's fair.
Let's
actually.
go on to the best episode, I guess.
this is the best episode. Well, maybe it'll go down. We'll see.
Yeah, the only episode where he actually wins a fight.
So,
didn't touch anything else. So
What the hell?
Okay,
Okay. I'm gonna mute. I'm gonna
What the
mute
heck's
him for
happening?
now. He sounds like he's getting in some art. Let me know when he's back, and I'll unmute him. Just let me know. Like, you can interrupt me. So yeah, they introduce Norman Osborn. They have a conversation. And I guess I'm overall okay with most of this so far. I suppose the thing that they could improve on is the pacing. Because I think it takes a little bit too long to just get through Peter getting the internship. He goes to Oscorp, and then he's getting used to it, and whatnot. And they spend like a good 15 minutes on it, and I think they could have condensed it a bit so it's I guess paced a lot better. But it's not like offensively bad. So we move forward, and we only get to really staggering issues when we have the fight with the arsonist, because I think it actually does reflect really badly on Peter's character. A lot of this, it gave me TASM 2 energy, I'll just say. Oh, he's back?
We were,
Is he?
Let me double check.
Hey.
Well, we'll find out. But yeah, the arsonist fight is really frustrating because so he enters, and obviously it's fine that he looks for civilians. It's fine that he tries to shoot a web. He's just dodging around. What I find inexcusable is that he tells them he's burning the wrong building, and that completely throws off the arsonist. He's like, wait, what? And then he runs, and his back. We're just gonna pause. His back is literally turned on Spider-Man. So it is inexcusable that Peter doesn't just stop him when this guy is an arsonist. This guy, even though nobody's in this building, it's still harmful that this building that people are surrounding, this building could come down. It could fall on the people nearby. And also, fire is just bad for the environment. People are going to be coughing up a storm after this. Like, just take him out as quick as possible. I think this is ridiculous.
Yes, but SK, have you ever considered that this is a starting out Spider-Man, which is why he sucks ass?
So here's the interesting thing. I made sure in my video script to account for that because I knew people would say that. So all I brought up was the fact, all right, here's context of the earlier fights that we saw him in. When he was up against 3 random people in the first episode, he's shown to, dodge the hits very quickly. He's shown to utilize the environment to his advantage. He even finds creative ways to prevent an escape. He sees one of them running away, and he just webs, a door open, and it knocks his head out, or knocks him by the head, whatever. And he's actually very quick and efficient in that scene, and you would expect a lot more efficiency when it counts, when there's more at stake here. So, so we've seen earlier that he's capable.
You're assuming that this character is competent. Like,
that's true.
If this character was like Peter Parker's,
assuming that Peter Parker is a smart person.
Yeah.
But yeah, just right here, I'm just thinking of the scene in Spider-Verse where he sees someone stealing shoes or some shit. He webs them by the feet and just trips them very easily. And it's like, I love that. It's like, yeah. Because that's how easy it should be for Spider-Man. So what the hell is he doing right here? That's ridiculous. So, SK, Peter was sleep deprived. That's why he didn't stop the arsonist. So yeah.
He has muscle soreness.
Yeah, he has muscle soreness.
He was just bored and thought, I'll let it burn for a little bit.
So yeah, he basically messes around. That's all his fault that he messes that up. And I do think it gets worse later. because he's about to just boot him and get into the shop. So yeah, obviously I understand that he's trying to save the animals. This is something that kind of diverts his focus, which makes enough sense. But what I think is inexcusable is that he webs his gauntlet, which, you know, that's good. And then after that, he moves around, which, you know, that's good as well. He uses the environment to attack him. But then once he sees him turned around, his back is turned, all he needs to do is web him, trip him, web the gauntlets off, do something. But what he does instead is literally just stands there and talks, and he does nothing productive. Like, he might as well just shake his hand and ask him to dinner at this point. That'd be just as productive as what he does here. And then because of that, this guy is able to shoot more. And that's just ridiculous. He should have stopped him earlier. But, you know, whatever. He stopped him now. It's over. And I suppose, like, yeah, this episode isn't as substantive. There's not as much to talk about as the last episode.
I'm back.
Welcome back. There's just not a whole lot that really happens here in this episode, so it makes it a little bland.
That's how you describe, like, the whole season, though. It's like very little happens.
The pacing is bad.
I know, right?
Also, I also want to say this. This is like the only time that Peter actually wins a fight, like by himself, and it's against a complete moron who couldn't even burn the right building.
It's against a guy with blowtorches.
Yeah,
and that's not much of a flex.
But yeah, it's just so yeah, we've gone over the problems with Peter being stupid with the arsonist, and this is just the thing that'll be recurring. But these villains are all just one note. They're boring. There's nothing interesting to them.
I only realized that today. Like, they're all just, I'm evil.
Yeah.
I hate it.
That's literally all of them. They're all boring. And
it's kind of the same issue with the My Adventures of Superman villains, in which they're all just tech based. Like, every single one of them, they're all basically the same.
Yeah, I guess the only other issue I have with this episode is that I find it really strange that they're trying to handle the whole concept of Peter Parker and Spider-Man just struggling to balance both lives, and they decide to have Dr. Connors, who doesn't know he's Spider-Man, doesn't know why he's absent. She tries to cover for him for some reason, and I'm just like, why? You don't know he's Spider-Man.
Really nice, I guess.
Like, okay, you see that he's smart and whatever, cool. But you have to work hard. Like, I like how in Spider-Man 2, the Raimi one, where Dr. Connors, you know, he's like, you know, being intelligent, that's not enough. You have to work hard. He's brilliant, but he's lazy. That's what I like about that dynamic there. He doesn't know he's Spider-Man, so obviously, just because he's smart doesn't mean he's just going to cover his ass all the time. He has to work hard, and he needs that pressure.
That's what Dr. Connors does in
Do diligent hardworking.
Yeah.
That's what Dr. Connors does in Spectacular. In the third episode, he gets fired from his job as Dr. Connors because obviously they don't know he's Spider-Man. So when he goes off to fight the Lizard, and then the byline of the Bugle article says, written by Peter Parker, they're like, you abandoned us to go take pictures, you fucking asshole.
Exactly. And that's the thing that is really weird about this episode. He doesn't face any consequences for this. He gets yelled at, but then he gets protected by someone who has no reason to protect him. Like, it's so weird, her cover-up, too. She's just like, I sent him to get supplies. And it's like, okay, so what is your plan for when he comes back without any supplies?
A defense is villains don't have to be deep. Like, what kind of fucking counter-argument is that? They have to at least be entertaining. Villains here's the thing. This show's compared to Spectacular, right?
Yeah.
The worst villain in Spectacular is at least entertaining. Like, the most uninteresting... I don't even know.
The fact I have to ask who's the worst is kind of
probably Sable.
Well, the reason is like
Let's say Chameleon.
Me saying like who's the worst kind of speaks to the quality of the show, where it's like, wow, they're all entertaining villains. I don't know who's the worst.
Well, that's the thing. Even the villains that are not deep, like I don't think Rhino's particularly a deep character in the show, but even then, he's so much fun.
He's hilarious.
Yeah. He is amazing. Like,
partnership is over.
Here's the thing: if you don't want the villain to have like a deep, complex reason for doing it, or like a lot of depth at all,
give them something enjoyable.
Yes, at least make them fun. Though they're not fun in friendly neighborhoods.
So I can put you out of your misery.
Well, either
don't
that,
you put me, boy.
Either that, or
why don't you put me out of my mystery? Who are you anyway?
To be honest,
how's about Shocker?
I mean, like, either have them do something
I'll show
really
you.
like,
Smash!
entertaining
Wow,
or
you sure
fun.
showed me.
Or you could just have your villain, at least have your villain do something that's truly reprehensibly evil.
That's a good
Yeah,
point.
that's another way you can do it. If you don't want to make your villain like really fun and charismatic, at least make them like really sadistic, so at least they're memorable. Like the only one I can think of is the Scorpion, I guess. But like besides him, the rest of them are just boring. They're just so fucking lame. They have nothing to them.
Yeah, but even then, Scorpion's supposed to be like the number one big bad of the show. We'd agree with that, right? So compare that to the number one big bad and spectacular, the Green Goblin. He doesn't compare.
Or
We all
Tombstone.
have masks.
Or Tombstone,
To be
yeah.
honest, I
The
haven't
one
even
that
thought
hides
of
your
it.
face, and the one that is your face.
face.
Like there's so
Venom.
much...
Venom is so much fun in that show.
Yeah.
He's
What's
so-
the matter, bro?
Poor
Like
Spider.
looking in a mirror, bro. The fun
The
house.
funhouse
He
gun.
can dish it out, but he can't take it.
Right idea, wrong caliber.
That's actually that's
What
really
are those supposed to do? Well, they're supposed to hurt. Right idea, wrong caliber.
That's what I love about how Venom quips in the show. It's like he's supposed to be a dark reflection of Spider-Man, so it's really backhanded when he actually does the quips like Spider-Man. That's good right there.
How is the Flame Torch guy not fun? Explain more. The fact that you don't even remember his name and you call him Flame Torch Man,
Yeah,
that
that's
already
my
helps
answer.
the point.
We're not
His name is
dignifying that
Butane,
with a
by the way.
response.
It's
Yeah, why
Fire.
dignify
You don't even
that?
know his
You
name.
literally don't even know his name.
Yeah.
It's
The
Firefly.
only thing that's memorable about Butane is that he's a moron. That's
It's,
literally it.
it's Garfield Lens, okay? It's Garfield Lens.
That is
Yeah.
not Firefly. Firefly is way different.
Firefly's at least. Well, that's funny because Firefly's fun, by the way. Like he's really fun.
So yeah.
Instead of a lip bomb, how about napalm?
So this episode I'd give like a 6 out of 10. It's nothing special, but it's not broken. It doesn't have a huge amount of problems. So like I'd still say, while it's not great, at least it's functional overall. So, but this is the best the show gets.
It's not Last Jedi or anything. That's like the only good things about the show.
It's at least not canon to anything else.
It's not abominably horrible.
I saw the episode 1, sue me. That's not an argument. If a villain is memorable enough, you would only have to see it once to remember the name.
I can remember.
I think I
villains
can
from
remember all of their
Spectacular.
names. There's Butane, Speed Demon, Tarantula, Unicorn. Apparently, Unicorn's like a big buff friend is supposed to be Rhino, even though his name isn't Alexi, which is weird because he
looks like
basically
Rhino in the
Alexi.
comics.
Yeah, so they did just make him Rhino, but then they just wasted their own time by giving him a different name. It's really weird.
Yeah.
And then they got fucking Scorpion. They got a bunch of people.
Yeah, and they're all basically the same villain. More or
Wait,
less.
is Unicorn like an Iron Man villain?
Iron Man,
or...
yes. There is one version that fought Spider-Man, but it's not the one we seen.
Yeah.
Okay, why did they bring her in here then?
Because they use a bunch of villains that aren't Spider-Man's. Butane is a Captain Britain villain.
Even though there is it's so weird because there is a Spider-Man villain that's like who uses a flamethrower. His name is Scorcher, so I don't know why they just didn't make him Scorcher.
Which is funny because they said they took inspiration from the comic that Scorcher is from.
Wait, but Paragon, did they read it?
Apparently not.
No.
Did you read it?
Oh,
I gotta watch Iron Man Armored Adventures.
we're gonna watch that
Yeah,
at some
that's
point,
good.
sure. So yeah, we're on to episode 3, and there's a line that really bothers me about Peter, and it really just proves what I'm saying about how little of a character he is. So he says something to the effect of, I actually have the quote in my script right now. The day I got these powers, I wasn't sure why. Why me? Why not someone else? Someone who could have been the next Captain America instead of some kid from Queens. Now I truly believe that I have these powers to help people, to protect them as Spider-Man, and if that means endangering myself, I'm okay with that. So my whole thing with this is that they're skipping over quite a lot, despite wanting to tell us an origin story in the first episode. Like, don't you think it would have been nice if we actually saw Peter struggling with the feeling of inadequacy before he declares himself as Spider-Man, comparing himself to heroes like Captain America, which could be an interesting way to get into question if he can live up to the responsibility that being a hero calls for. I mean, it'd be a great way to, humanize Peter, and establish some flaws for him to overcome before he fully accepts the job. But no, episode 1, after the time jump, he just immediately accepts, that he's Spider-Man and that he's supposed to protect people. This is like a point of development they're hinting at, but they skip over it entirely.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Stupid.
So
It's
yeah,
fucking...
I don't like that. But also, it's like, I hate to say this because I know we're not allowed to praise this movie, but Far From Home had better ways of telling this story, of trying to tell this story. It might not be great, but when we look at this from a structural perspective, whatever consistency issues you have with it, fine, whatever. But when we're talking about how they tell it from a structural level, at least they try to tell the story where we can see it, right? Because at the beginning of the film, we have, does anyone have any neighborhood questions? What's it like to take over for Tony Stark? These are some big shoes to fill. We have him talking to Mysterio saying, I have too much of a responsibility. We have the scene at the plane where he's like, the world is asking who's going to be the next Iron Man. I don't know if that's me, Happy. I'm not Iron Man. We actually, say what you want about execution. They at least tried to tell an arc. They at least tried to, in the structure of the movie, they tried to show us progression. They tried to give him character. And I'm sorry, I have to give Far From Home credit for this that I can't give to this.
Uh-oh.
Far From Home did better.
Uh-oh.
Sad.
You know something bad when SK's praising MCU.
I know.
Something really does suck.
Yeah. So I
No, guys, but remember, this is on the same level as Spectacular.
that is
Yeah,
just
bro.
wild that I see that.
What a wild take, yeah.
Anywhere near Spectacular, you're joking.
Fuck off.
So yeah, sorry, Necromorph, go ahead.
This is like bottom 3 Spider-Man adaptations.
It is. It really is.
Yeah,
And then
it's Holland, Ultimate, and this, I think.
No,
Edge of
swap
Time.
Ultimate,
What
swap
about Edge of Time?
Ultimate
Yeah.
with Edge of Time. Edge of Time is
Oh,
worse than
Edge of Time, that's true.
Yeah. Dark starts saying it's possible he suppressed that. Okay, but that's not. Why don't we see
Yeah, but
it?
tell us about that. Tell us about him fighting his own emotions.
The whole point
my
of a character arc, a character's journey, is that we get in the heads of the character.
Yeah, we see a progression of events. We see the character change.
Mm-hmm.
Also, just because it's possible doesn't mean that that's what's happening. Stop
Yeah,
writing for the show.
Let's
Oh
just try
my
to think of
God.
it this way, right? When you're writing a story, you have a very basic structure. We have a beginning, we have a middle, and we have an end, right? When we have the story of Peter Parker and his upbringing, how he became Spider-Man, we have the beginning of him getting his powers. We don't have a middle point, but we have the end point. That's what the show is, with the origin. They're skipping an entire, arguably the most important element of telling a story. And they do this with Aunt May, which I'm about to get into. Which, yeah, I think this is a good time for me to talk about that. Aunt May's barely a character in the show. She's nothing compared to other versions like Spectacular Aunt May, the 90s version of Aunt May, the Raimi version, the Insomniac version. This is a nothing character right here. Because when we see Aunt May, packing a bunch of items for sale, much of which includes Uncle Ben's stuff, Peter and May talk about this. Peter looks like, he looks kind of worried that they're going to lose those belongings. And Aunt May just says, I thought it would be hard, Peter, but it's okay. Sometimes things just got to get done whether you want to do it or not. And to me, that's just really, again, this is what I mean by a story has a beginning, middle, and end. We don't even have a beginning to this because this is never I guess the beginning to this would be them talking about Ben's death, in fairness. But there's no middle point where she gets to a point where she's okay with moving on from Ben. and we just see the end point of it. Like, she says, "Oh, I thought it would be hard. Show us that. Don't just tell us about it. I want to see her actually struggling to move on." In Spider-Man 2, the Raimi version, they actually earned that kind of payoff, because literally in that movie, there has to be a lot done before she actually starts packing up, selling the house, and moving forward with her life. Like, I mean, we see in Spider-Man 2 at the beginning, she breaks down crying because she misses Uncle Ben on Peter's birthday party. Like, she can't hold it in very easily. It's clearly having an effect on her mental state. We see that when she blames herself for Uncle Ben's death, when they talk about it midway in the movie. We see that she learns about what Peter confesses to, and she realizes he's going through the same thing, that he always thinks he's responsible for it. He always thinks that he's at fault, and he reveals it because he hears that Aunt May is constantly blaming herself. So, like, that's a whole lot to unpack there. That's the whole reason that Aunt May gets ready to move past the grief, because she sees it's unhealthy for her, it's unhealthy for Peter, and she realizes it's time to move on, and that's the kind of progress that she needs to promote if she wants to help Peter. And that's a great moment where she actually finally moves on, packs everything, and finally gets an apartment. They actually did the legwork to justify this. They gave us a lot to unpack with her character. We have nothing, and this is a full season of television.
Yeah,
that's like the thing about this show. I think its ultimate failing, and the reason why it's as bad as it is because if it's not blatantly poorly written, it's shallow. Like, Aunt May isn't like inconsistent or out of character.
Except
for the most part. Besides that episode. Besides that, overall she isn't. But she still sucks because she's shallow. She's a very boring character. She doesn't have anything to her as a character. She's just she's just the doting mother figure of Peter that's barely in the show. She's really lame.
It just seems as though, no, let me speak, please. It just seems as though they just want to skim over the hard parts instead of just developing things. They'll just skim over it and just say it happened.
Yeah,
this reminds me. Feels like.
The show feels like it's playing its way too safe, because it's like if like performing like complex character arcs or having characters with edge to it is way harder than just having Peter be the nice guy superhero from the beginning, or like having Aunt May like just having to deal with things and you actually have to write that. Yeah, it's much easier if she just moves on off screen and she just gives them advice sometimes, and that's it. That's her whole role. That's way easier to do. It's lazy. Like, it's one of the things like I keep saying about like. It's one of the things I keep saying about current Spider-Man media that's usually bad. It does things very lazily. Like, Aunt May is fucking lazy. She's just not a character. Sneeko is fucking lazy. She's like the most generic like female friend character you can think of in any cartoon.
Like, the only thing I like about Nico is how her identity reveal ends up. Because I thought they were gonna do Amber again, and then they didn't do Amber, and I was like, "Thank you, holy shit."
Well,
she's still a hypocrite.
I'm gonna hold my tongue.
Yeah. Continuing off what I said, like the villains are another thing. Like we keep saying, the villains are really one note and boring. It's like, are the villains inconsistent? No. Do they have bad plans? Not that I remember. Besides, like, later on, but like they're fucking boring. They're lame. They have like no spice to them at all. It's just. Haha, I can run fast, Spider-Man, and I want money, and I'm boring.
Yeah, Tarantula and Speed Demon are, we want money. Why do you want money? I like money.
Like, I'm a criminal.
Money. Money.
Like,
I like money.
I like money.
At least Mysterio.
Wait. Why are you killing people and stealing from people? Money.
Money.
At least Mysterio from like Far From Home is at least kind of funny.
Yes.
I
love him.
I think I ate a box of Mysterios for breakfast.
Yeah, you're completely right, Necromorph. At least they give us something for why he's a villain.
Bro, Starkstar's defense for Sneeko is she's a rebel and is against the rich. Like, that isn't the most like that. Yeah, because that is totally not the most generic.
But basically, she's a communist.
That seems very.
Yes, guys, because being like a rebel goth female chick character who like hates rich people, that's totally not played up all the time in like fucking animated shows.
Yeah,
totally
that's
just not
actually a
fucking
very classic
thing.
trope. Is the girl that doesn't like the establishment.
Hey, you know, you can have this idea done with a character that actually has depth, like Catwoman in the Batman.
Yes, exactly.
Well, she's a
Nice.
racist. She doesn't like white people.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
true.
white people.
Yeah,
She
fuck
said-
white people.
Yeah.
White people. Actually, no, I don't think white people.
You know what? I agree.
I
I fucking hate white people. White people like write things like Friendly Neighborhood.
If you're white right
I
now,
think-
I
and
think
you
friendly.
poor,
I think friendly
you deserve to
neighborhood's
be poor.
showrunner is black. To be fair.
If you're white right now,
Yeah, that's
and
the
you're
funny
going
part.
through shit, you caused it.
You
You
caused
did. You got no one else.
You know
got
what?
no one else,
You know what?
Spider-Man.
You minorities keep ruining our media.
DEI woke garbage.
All right, let's. I just
Somebody clip that. Somebody clip that.
Oh yeah, there's no. That's gonna be taken out of context so hard.
It definitely will. So, yeah, I guess the next thing to go over is the speedster thing, and just real quick, I want to comment, and we'll get back to this later.
Lightspeed.
I do think it's really smart that Doc Ock delivers his tech to them remotely through like a garbage can, and basically the garbage can has arms that can like crawl up.
Wait. Read this. This is funny. I got a comment saying, also stop calling her Sneeko. That's saying
That's
she's
what I was
a
laughing
pedo.
at. And I just started to move on.
Your pep off for me wrong. Your pep off for me wrong.
Oh my God.
Listen,
I mean-
when you say Nico, it kind of sounds like you're saying Sneeko, to be honest.
Exactly. That's
It
the
is
joke.
Sneeko.
But yeah, it's just back to what I was saying. I think it's really smart that Doc Ock has a way of remotely doing his sales instead of just, you know, bringing people along in his base of operations. I think that's really smart. That's all I'm going to say for that now.
No, it's not.
But yeah, I do like what they're doing with Lonnie. I do like that they're trying to expand upon his backstory. He seems like
You
the
like
only character they
pandering
care
to,
to give some depth
You like
for.
pandering to minorities, SK. That's why.
Of course,
Look at
of course.
Wait. What do
Someone
you mean
put
by
that.
expanding on his backstory?
Well, they talk about his brother, what's going on with him, how it's affecting his family.
Okay. I thought you meant they were improving like the original '80s one.
No,
I was like,
no,
this-
not that.
This is where we were friends, and now this is where we become brothers.
But yeah, so they do the theft, and Peter is like, he's insufferably dumb in this fight. So let me just start off by saying, so Peter can clearly see that he's about to do some shit. His machine clearly has some high tech behind it. He webs it, of course, which is good. I don't know why he doesn't do it to his fiance right here. He should just web right away, but fine. He stands there, he webs him, and then when she says that she'll get him out of this soon,
Have you out in a sexy?
she activates a gauntlet, and he sees this. There's no reason he can't see this.
Yeah, sorry, miss, but you can't tear those webs.
And he's like, sorry, you can't tear them. And they're like, how do you know that? She has high-tech gauntlets on her right now that she just activated. Why do you think she did that? You think she just did it just, I don't know, for show? Like, you know
What
this tech
gauntlets?
can do things, right?
Torrentless gauntlets, like, you know, the ones that emit the blades.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
What's up?
Hello. Oh yeah. Okay.
Like, he was just confused about torrentless gauntlets.
Yeah. Are we like before the fight starts? I guess.
We are like
Yeah, no,
right
she's,
as
like,
it's about to start.
She's unwebbing Speed Demon. Like, she's, like, trying
Yeah,
to, like,
so
tear the web
she
off the
unwebs
demon.
Speed Demon because Peter just stands there and watches it happen and assumes that even though she just activated her gauntlets, even though he saw that, he just assumes, oh, you can't break through that. That's really dumb. And
yeah,
she does break it.
Also, like another problem with this fight is like once again Peter can't do it on his own, even though these are fucking D-list Spider-Man villains. These are like the biggest losers you can think
Norman
of.
literally has to give him the solution to the puzzle.
Yeah, that's not even the worst
He has to
part.
give him the solution to the puzzle.
It
That's
pulled
not
us
even the
to
worst
W
part, though.
front.
The problem is that while Norman's telling all this, Spider-Man's just letting cops die.
Well, we'll get to that. I want to go in order because I'm showing references here.
Yeah.
But yeah, just right now we're on the part where he lets them get lets them escape basically, and he gets beaten up because of that. It's like, yeah, this guy's a moron. But before we do this, I want to get to who we're gonna. I don't care. I'm gonna just call him Dumbass Donovan the whole time. I don't care. This guy is immensely stupid. So, Lonnie.
He sucked.
Lonnie just enters his base of operations. This whole base of operations for the crime gang. He just enters the building somehow. Apparently, the people at the door just let him in. Or just he didn't have people at the door. Whatever it is. Why would he be let in? What if this guy's undercover? What if this guy has a wire on him? What if the police are following him, tracking his activities because his brother recently got caught? And yeah, it is possible that they're just profiling him right now just because of him being merely his brother. And obviously the cops are racist. So, like, yeah, there's so many different things that Donovan should be thinking about, but dumbass Donovan doesn't consider that, and Lonnie's just allowed to enter. And they try to explain how he even finds his brother here when he's not supposed to know that, right? He's like, oh, how did you even find me? And they make a joke like, there's a phone, you're on a family plan, genius. And I'm like, okay.
Why
So
would Donovan not check for that?
Yeah, why does dumbass Donovan not just be like, hey, disable your phone for any means of tracking? Like, why would he not like press on this? He doesn't vet for this at all whatsoever, when this means like any one of these people could have trackers. Like, when Lonnie knew his brother was missing, he could have went to the police. He could have told the police about that, and the police could have been with him. So, like, yeah, this guy is an idiot. We're supposed to believe that he's this experienced crime leader, but he's a moron. No checking for trackers.
Yeah, he's really fucking stupid. Like, it's some of the worst you'll ever see in the show. Once again, it's just as good as Spectacular. When it's Spectacular, we have like extremely competent fucking leaders of a
who had more nuance too. They weren't just, I'm evil and I'm an asshole. Dude, Lonnie, why are you doing something normal? Fuck you, bitch slap.
All their meeting places are in like deserted,
you know
abandoned
what's the
areas.
scam, Lonnie? Yo, education is the scam. Put the homework away.
No, literally, that's like in Spectacular Spider-Man. You notice that whenever they meet with these criminals, it's always at these like at these secret but also like deserted locations. They aren't connected to the main base of operations, so if something goes wrong, then that doesn't put the big man in trouble. Now, to move forward, like, if I want to make another comparison,
support your point, SK. That's something criminals do a lot, is stuff like that. For example, there was back during the like 20s and 30s, back during the huge rise of organized crime, when mobs would steal cars, they would have a system where every person had one job and they were only told the details of that job. Like, if you were the guy that took off the tires, you were the guy that took off the tires.
Yep.
What else? Where is the car going? It's not your fucking business. Stop asking.
Oh, so
you're bringing the car over to like the chop shop or whatever. Where does it go after that? Shut up. It's not your business.
Yeah.
So real life, you're telling me that real life is poorly written?
No, that's a good thing.
Yeah,
good
real
thing.
life is well written.
But yeah, just if I can make a
It's
comparison,
a good thing that criminals steal cars. Paragon points 2025.
If I can make a comparison real quick, in the 90s animated series, Spider-Man tries tracking the Rhino. That stops working once he enters Kingpin's building. That's smart. I don't know why Donovan doesn't have any measures like the Kingpin does, but, you know, I guess this guy's a dumbass who doesn't understand how to run a business or a crime organization on a basic level.
I mean, just to be clear, like, I think we all understand that the organization isn't as big as Tombstones or the Kingpins, but that doesn't, like, allow, like, Donovan to be, like, as incompetent as he is. If anything, he should be more paranoid and more secure about, like, his organization compared to most, because he doesn't have resources to get away with it. He doesn't have, like, top-tier lawyers and shit that Kingpin and Tombstone and the respective shows would have, and even they're way more careful with things. Like, I'm not asking for Donovan to have like a secret bar location that looks legit, where they do backhand deals when no one's looking and shit, like it's Spectacular. All that I'm asking is for decent level of competency, and they don't even have that. I'm asking
He
for
gets caught by a family
maybe
plan.
people. Yeah, maybe like a fucking phone tracker can't tell you where your base is, especially if you read about the Scorpion and shit. Maybe like you're not. Maybe like you can't fucking allow everyone to join in this location. Maybe this shouldn't be the location if people can just easily find it. Maybe you should start moving more and more.
Yeah,
like something.
Don't put all your eggs in one basket.
At least have some kind of network to keep yourself secure from getting caught, not just fucking nothing. Because that's the problem. Like, he seems to have no precaution at all for getting caught in the show, and he has no he has no idea how to run this business, because even like how he treats like his men is really fucking bad. Seeing how he treats Lonnie, it just makes him look really stupid. That he just kind of like antagonizes the guy who like willingly like works for you for doing nothing wrong. Like, he didn't do anything to like risk your gang,
because they can sell you out if you don't. And also, if you treat
at
people
least
well,
it
worked really well. Remember in The Penguin, how Alberto Falcone actually tells Oz that Falcone was letting him skim money off the top because he was a good worker?
Yep.
Hey guys, I think I know why they're called the 1/10 now. Because they only have like 1/10 the IQ of the average person.
I'd like to note here that there was one singular time where all of these crime bosses from the Roaring 20s met in one spot, and they all got caught instantly, so they never did something that stupid again.
During the days of like the 20s and Murder Incorporated and all that, they were super fucking paranoid.
Yeah, that's it.
Remember, they had to catch Al Capone on tax evasion.
Yeah, tax evasion.
We're on episode 3 in case you're curious, but yeah, just a whole nother thing to think about. But why does Donovan think it's smart to bring a child into his main base of operations and giving him all these privileged pieces of information that the cops would really want to know about? I mean, if you just think about it for a moment, right? Let's say that the kid was taken hostage by a rival organization. He's gonna crack very easily, even if he doesn't willingly reveal information, or if the cops catch him, because he's a kid, less competent. Kids can be stupid. He gets caught. Police sniff out the information from him because due to interrogation tactics, and he's a kid who's very gullible. And they go to the base, and then they basically get them all arrested because they hired a stupid kid to have all this information. Like, that's just ridiculous.
Again, Donnie is a trustful person and sees potential in anyone. I don't even know what kind of defense that is.
Why would a mob boss
potential when you see in a little kid? What potential?
Why would a mob
That's a good point too. What kind of potential is in like a little child in his murderous, violent organization? Also, that's another point.
Why is a mob boss trustful? That's how you get caught.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, trust gets you killed.
Yeah, that's like he would be caught by now.
Criminal,
if that's the case.
But distrustful to people, Starkstar.
Dude, Vulture is better. Vulture at least has paranoia.
Dude, yeah, Vulture.
Oh my god! No wonder why you say Vulture is better.
Under the radar. Under the radar. That's how we survive.
Under the radar. That's how we survive. That's better than this dog shit.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck, man.
Yeah.
But like another thing is like, yeah, with the kid point, like we're supposed to believe that Lonnie is like willing to stick with these guys and learn for them to become his family. But keep in mind, he only joined out of necessity to keep his little brother safe from like an organization that's willing to start fights with a fucking psychopath like the Scorpion. So he's okay with this organization that's okay with putting little kids in danger from getting murdered by a psychopath.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
Not to mention, now that I've been thinking more about the whole Donnie's Trussell thing, that's not even true. They don't.
That's a new flaw. That's a stupid flaw for the character. That makes no sense.
Hey, can I say my thing, please?
Sorry,
Donnie's
I just responded to comments.
Big Don is not even trustless. They don't even trust Lonnie until like Lonnie takes the stab wound for him. It's only
That's true.
It's only till then he actually starts to trust him even a little bit. So
yeah,
that's not even accurate to begin with.
So I wonder how that little kid got on the crew.
All right, so like that's a new flaw. You know what, Necromorph, you take the wheel. Explain why that's a stupid defense.
About what Starkstar said?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a new flaw. I want to hear it.
Wait, what was it again?
He says it's a new flaw.
That Donovan is super trustful. That's a new flaw, so it's okay that he's trustful.
I mean, you guys already said it. Like, he clearly isn't because he didn't trust Lonnie initially.
Yeah.
So would you say that Starkstar's writing for the show?
Yeah.
basically.
Ayo.
Hold up. So, Sam Raimi's Spider-Man, I think you guys might remember him. He's back, and he's saying, "My God, I can't believe you gave this a 3 out of 10. You believe the problems people had with Tom Holland are here, but worse, what the fuck?" So, I don't think it's a 3 out of 10. I think it's a 2 out of 10. Yes, I am.
Right.
I'm gonna be straight up with all you here. This entire series is worse than Homecoming. This entire series is worse than Far From Home. The only reason.
Oh shit! You do think it's worse than Far From Home?
Yeah. The only reason it isn't worse than No Way Home is because it doesn't ruin other franchises.
I'm actually want to pick your brain on the Far From Home one because I'm kind of curious why you think that.
I'm gonna be okay. So just wait until we're at the end, and then I think you'll understand. You'll understand that.
All right.
Because I guess just to tease at it, at least Far From Home isn't bait. It isn't just setup after setup after setup, and no payoff.
Ooh.
That's just something to think about.
Oh yeah, we talked about that the other day. Oh yeah.
Starkstar tried to respond with him being trustful is an internal flaw in his character that needs.
He doesn't let them
how
use
is
the
he
base
still
because he
active?
doesn't
He would've
trust
been
them.
caught.
Starkstar, are you not listening to us? We literally given you a reason why he's not that. That's not his character flaw because he doesn't trust Lonnie at all. He doesn't give him trust.
Like what if Scorpion like plants like a spy or something?
He literally got Lonnie to basically show his face and basically say he's associated with Donovan to make sure that the Scorpion is willing to kill him as well because he doesn't trust him in any other way. He literally has to put something over his head to make sure that he can trust him. That's not a trustful person.
Using leverage is inherently distrustful. But
yes, he literally needs leverage.
So
that's not a trustful person at all.
Okay, G. Casale. So you're saying the show fixed the problems you had with Tom Holland Spider-Man? I'm just gonna ask you right now, what problems did you have with Tom Holland Spider-Man that the show fixed? I'm really curious about that. But while you write that down, Batnick is saying, to be fair, regarding bringing a kid/teenager into a gang, it's very common for kids to be inducted into gangs. Look at Brock's brother in Breaking Bad. It just comes down to
no. I'm fine with I'm fine with Donovan doing it. My problem is that Lonnie likes these people in the end.
No. We're not on that. We were talking about why I said why does Donovan let the kid involved in this stuff. My problem is more so that the kid has privileged information, like the base of operations. So if the kid gets in trouble, he can literally out all of them. I think that's really dumb. That Donovan doesn't consider this. And I think like even though he runs this whole like criminal organization, they don't have to every single time operate in his main base. He can have a separate one so that like the higher ups don't get caught. That's why I think it's smart in the Batman, for example, where they have a club within the club. It's not just oh yeah, you're in the Iceberg Lounge and whatever. It's like no, there's a deeper club and you need to like be really trusted to get in there.
Yeah, not to mention the Breaking Bad example doesn't even. Yeah, the Breaking Bad example doesn't work because the kid, he's just a part of the gang. He's not a high-ranking member or anything like that. So. That's
like Batnick just said, making a teenager your right-hand man isn't very smart. Usually, kids are used as fodder or delivery people. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
That's really all these.
If he was like unable to like tell where the base is and all that, then that would be fine. But that's not the case. And also, once again, Lonnie shouldn't like that. He shouldn't be okay that they put his little brother in a situation where he could get murdered by a vicious psychopath. That's just stupid.
He should hate the gang. He should absolutely hate them.
He should have resentment.
Sam Raimi Spider-Man, I asked you a simple question. You can't just be like, oh, all I'm hearing is nothing but hate. No, name one thing that the show fixed from the Tom Holland movies. I actually want to hear your answer. But while you type that, so we're back to the whole fight scene where Peter's like just lying down. He's working with Norman, and he sees that they're fighting the cops while he's trying to strategize. Skids, I think you brought up that like he's kind of just watching them get hurt and stuff like that. I think the only complication is that he's dealing with the speedster. If you just keep making the wrong moves, he's gonna get fucked again. So he wants to first let Norman finish what the plan is.
Yeah, but
wait, what are we talking about?
he can at least try to save the cops. Like,
The second
pull
part of
them
the
out
fight.
danger. Like, use
No,
your
okay,
web.
I don't stand by that at all. No, I don't believe that Spider-Man would let a bunch of police officers die just to ensure he would win. I don't buy that.
Like,
I think if Spider-Man,
Can I say my
I think
thing,
it's.
please?
All right, go ahead.
Yes, as I was saying, he could just try to use his webs to pull the cops out of danger, pull them out of the way before they get hit.
Spectacular would have done that.
Yeah, that's exactly my point.
I mean, the problem with that is, like, I guess to be fair to the show, he thinks that if he gets involved, like, he's just gonna get fucked right away, and he won't be able to do anything.
Yeah, but in the first half of the fight, he didn't immediately. He's not getting speed blitzed or anything. It's not like they're so powerful he would just instantly die. I would understand this more if like it was like more of an extreme example, but if it was like Thanos or something, so he's like, wait, what's the plan? And he doesn't even fine. That's at least more understandable. I actually still wouldn't even agree with that. I think he would still go in because he wouldn't let anyone die under his watch. But even then, at least that would be a point.
Didn't 616
But
fight
no,
Moreland?
not with this. Hang on,
I guess,
hang on.
yeah, to be fair, he did jump in front of the laser blast from Unicorn, so I guess, yeah, that would be
Not only
fair.
that, but Moreland's a good point too. Like, he's outmatched against Moreland, he still went in, even though Moreland is like almost guaranteed able to kill his ass.
That's another thing. He was unmatched against that Venom creature, and he went up against the creature, so... Yeah, I don't know.
Yes, Venom could just speed blitz kill him, because Venom is like super fast, and Peter's a normal person at that point. So even in this show, it's not in his character, let alone the adaptation side of things. And once again, it's like, they show in the beginning of the fight, he can at least handle them for a little bit. Like, they don't, like he's not getting speed blitzed, he can react to Speed Demon, and Tarantula's a stupid woman with like little like fucking claws. Like, come on. He's not automatically gonna die. If he went in there immediately and saved the cops, he would have been fine.
Yeah, not to mention, he could just stick to the air. It's gonna be hard for Speed Demon to get him if Spider-Man just sticks in the air.
That's true, he could use the air to his advantage.
Yeah, and then just web pull everyone out of the way.
So, okay. Someone said, I think Amazing PSM will give you a valid answer on what Friendly Neighborhood does better than the MCU. He's welcome to try. Like, that's all I can say.
I don't think he has an argument yet because he has to wait on Twitter to make an argument for him first. So I'll just give him a minute.
Oh my God.
That's true.
The hell is this crap? Indeed, it's nothing but hate. It's an overly... Okay, so Spider-Man Unknown and Jay Casali, if you want to say this is nitpicking, this is overly criticizing, I'm going to ask you this question again because none of you seem to have an answer for some reason. What does this show do better than the MCU version? What problems are there in the MCU version that this show somehow fixed? I'm going to ask you that again, and if you don't have an answer, then my point is made.
Goodbye, sir.
But yeah, just moving forward, he comes up with a strategy to stop him, and then he trips him over, but then when he sees him about to, like, go crazy with it, so he's on the lamppost, right? He's watching the whole thing take place, and then he sees them speed out of control, which, by the way, before that even happened, I don't know why he didn't web them, but that's just a smaller thing. But you see, people are falling down nearby, they're crashing into cars, it could be hitting these people, and Spider-Man, you can see in the lamppost right there, he's literally just sitting there while they're speeding around without trying to shoot a web to maybe trip them over, do something to get it to, like, stop. He's just literally just sitting around doing nothing when they could easily hit a person going at super speed. Like, they could A-train a person right there, and that would be Spider-Man's fault. Okay, so Sam Raimi Spider-Man said, 1, no Iron Man tech, and being his mentor, we got Harry at...
He has Oscorp tech.
Yeah, he has Oscorp tech. What are you talking about? He gets a new suit from that. He gets his classic suit from Oscorp. He gets it from Oscorp.
No, he not only gets that, he gets the Future Foundation suit as his first suit.
Exactly, the Future Foundation. Like, are you kidding me?
Like, use the fucking tripwire to, like...
He's mentored by Osborn. He's mentored by Norman.
Yeah.
Like, he's pretty much serving the exact same role as Tony. So, how's that any different?
So you just have an inconsistent standard. You're just being bad faith to the MCU version.
Literally so easy to just use a web line to trip them.
There's no meaningful difference between the two. It's just...
Also, you're like his classic suit. He literally does have his classic suit in Homecoming and No Way Home. And also, that's less time than this show gives it to him. So like you're being disingenuous right here. Where's the AI and web combinations? Norman Osborn literally gives him that. What are you talking about? The suit literally has an AI that feeds like his biological information to him. And he gets saved by an Oscorp drone. You kidding me?
No, it's even worse. He gets saved by the Goblin Glider.
Yeah.
It's just the most Zeb Wellesley horse shit.
Yeah, that's not a meaningful difference. Like you say, you guys said that we nitpicked, and you literally nitpicked fucking. Well, does it exactly have an AI when it's like the premise is the same like problem?
Yeah.
He's like working for some big corporation where some guy gives him like everything he needs.
Also,
basically everything he needs is handed to him, like in fucking the Homecoming trilogy.
Also, Spider-Man Unknown is saying his classic suit is barely in Far From Home. Okay, the red and black suit, 1, looks like the classic suit, and 2, he still has it throughout most of Homecoming. He still has it at the end of No Way Home.
Why is that a better or worse thing? That's a fucking costume. Who
and also,
cares?
yeah, you're talking about a costume here. You're the one nitpicking. You're like, no, he doesn't have the suit that I like.
Yeah.
It doesn't have the suit that I want him to have. We're talking about actual foundational problems with his character. We're talking about him being out of character. We're talking about how he gets it easy in this, how he barely struggles, how he barely grows. And you're telling us that we're the ones nitpicking. Are you serious?
Uncle Ben's important to his story is diminished. It's the same thing. It's the same problems that the MCU has in a meaningful way. Like yes, he doesn't have an AI Karen talking to him, sure, but he still has like fucking Norman talking to him in his head. It's like it's no like different.
Dude, he literally gets a fucking flight suit by Norman. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, like I've been looking at the comments. You guys are basically just arguing semantics. Like,
yeah, and you're crying about things that aren't even as big of problems as it is in this.
Wait. Handed to him. Did we watch the same show? By the end, Peter goes from not trusting Norman anymore. Okay, in the end of the Homecoming trilogy, he doesn't work with Iron Man. He's on his own. He literally sacrifices his secret identity to everybody. Nobody knows who Peter Parker is, and he's like a solo act. Like that's the same level of argumentation you just gave.
Batnick just said, "Go on stream, cowboy up."
Cowboy up.
You cowboy up and do what you have to.
Be a man. Be an Osborn.
So yeah, episode 3 is a 3 out of 10.
The dude got his ass kicked by Gargan. Am I the only one defending this? What does that have to do with anything? Like we're not saying he gets it easy as Spider-Man as a whole. We're saying that with his equipment and his money problems and all that shit, he gets it easy because Norman hands stuff to him.
Also, he's never an outcast at his school, so what are you talking about? He's more of an outcast at his school than Homecoming and Far From Home and No Way Home.
In Homecoming, at least Flash Thompson bullies him, so there's a bully in his life. Like, there's not even that in fucking the newer show. The bully's a nice friend of his.
I say penis, you say Parker. Penis.
At least he gets humiliated by his class. When has he ever been embarrassed at school? Yeah, I didn't think so.
Yeah,
anyway.
it's actually easier. That's actually easier than Homecoming Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So yeah, back to this show.
Oh, I'll also say that Norman, before the reveal of him not being trusting, was a better mentor than Iron Man as a whole, because at least he kept contact with him. Because with like Iron Man, he doesn't even like talk to Peter at all in Homecoming. He's like really, really bad at communicating.
Yeah, so here's the thing. I think we might need to do this into 2 parts. I'm willing to do it tomorrow, if that's the case. But
your fast food habit is coming back?
No, it's just like it's going on a bit longer than expected, so we might need to do part 2.
Yeah, it's going on a bit longer because the show is just like spectacular.
Yeah, let's say
there's just so much good.
How about we just make it up to episode 5?
Halfway.
Let's keep going as far as we can. So.
Oh, and SK, announcement for this next time. If we're doing a part 2 has to also be a disagreement day because there's a lot of comments not agreeing with us. I want blood.
I want blood.
Yeah. I want blood.
So.
Blood. I guess you could say Comic Legend wants Carnage.
Yes. Who does?
Actually, he's not in the show, so.
Maximum Carnage, League Entertainment Edition.
Maximum entertainment.
So real quick, I just want to mention. So he gets this new night suit, and then he shows up, and then he's like, cross his arms, whatever. This scene is dumb because he shows up, and he gets caught in his cape, and it's like, yeah, so they just didn't train at all with any of the suits he's wearing. Like, okay. And it's gonna get worse with the others because the others are even more important to train with. But also I just want to add, like, what is this actually?
Sorry, I just realized something about the cape. It just came to my mind right now. This is like something that's been like addressed in other like good superhero media. There's always like a contingency just in case the cape gets stuck, which is just there's like a latch that you click on and it detaches the cape. Like this is like a thing Batman has too. Like if you watch like the episode where Batman teams up with Superman in the animated series.
Yeah.
When he like fights like the war robot drone, and he's like his cape gets caught on this like giant printer machine thing. Yeah, like the cape detaches. It gets off of his body. Like the mask comes off too, but the cape doesn't hold onto him. It will detach from his costume so he doesn't get killed by it. Well, it's the same thing I think any superhero media should just establish. I think it's really dumb that Norman never thought of that as like a risk.
Well, also, I just want to mention this right now, man. He's Spider-Man. Just rip it off. Rip right through it. He has the strength to do it. And like
Stark said, I know a problem the show fixed from the MCU. They had Scorpion suit up. That's not a problem. That's
not a problem.
That's not a problem.
Like, just fucking kick those enemies.
Yeah, well, yeah. One, he could just kick those people, and two, he can climb upwards with his feet. He can rip it open with his mere strength. He's nerfed.
Yeah. Unless the cape is like super durable, and it's like, why is the cape super durable?
Why would you need to make it super durable, and when you can make the suit super durable?
Well, the thing is, like, remember they move on to other costumes, but it's like the only problem with that one was just the cape. Why not just take the cape off?
Yeah.
Would that just fix the only issue that suit had, which was just the cape was annoying? Just take that off.
Yeah, so that's just really dumb of Norman.
I also want to comment it's really disrespectful. It's turning Spider-Man into a joke again. I don't know why they keep doing this. I don't know why they have to make Spider-Man a slapstick like loser goofball that like looks like a fucking clown all the time.
Yeah, this one's the most inexcusable. But we see that he's flying around and he didn't test how to fly this thing.
Yeah, they didn't.
No, to be fair, they say in the show, I think the gyroscopic sci-fi bullshit is not calibrated correctly.
Oh my god.
Why didn't they test for that?
Yeah.
Because he's an idiot. I don't know.
Yeah.
Imagine in the first Iron Man movie, Tony starts flying his suit without any like preparation, before.
That's what this is.
Yeah. Like, remember the joke in Iron Man where he uses a thrusters and he gets the wall? Like, he could just do something like that for Spider-Man. You can have the jokes. Yeah, like, you can have him trained while having jokes.
It also extends to another problem that I keep having. I don't know why Spider-Man always has to be, like, the clown of the scenes in, like, these newer adaptations. Why is he always, like, some loser that just keeps getting hit all the time? And it's
is dry.
The thing is, back in the day, we were supposed to laugh with Spider-Man because he's funny. We're not supposed to laugh at Spider-Man. So why do they keep doing this? It's so annoying.
Spider-Man Unknown? What the hell is that defense? This is him testing it right now. You mean out in public where he can hit people or like get himself killed up in the sky?
He can easily fall to his death.
Yeah, he could literally fall right on top of someone. Like, you serious? That's the defense?
He literally almost killed someone.
Yeah, let's look at it. Actually, let's look at the sequence right now. He's flying around. He could easily fly into a building and hit someone in the building. So, like, that's already a problem. It's a problem for Norman because he wants to actively use him. Oh my god, he activates missiles from this because he doesn't know how to use it, or bullets or whatever, and it nearly hits someone. He nearly shoots someone because Norman just didn't train him with this. It's the same problem as the bus scene in Far From Home. He nearly killed someone because Tony didn't instruct him on how to use this thing. And yeah, like, he nearly killed someone. He's flying around like a fool. And yeah, I think he actually... Does he hit someone right there? No, he almost does. He almost hits people on the way. Like, numerous people. We can see this in the reference.
it puts dents in the fucking car, so it's pretty fucking dangerous, by the way.
Exactly. Like, how is this better than MCU? He almost hits a car right there. How is this better than MCU Spider-Man? I don't get it.
Penetrates it. It
Yeah.
penetrates it.
Plus, not to mention, there's times he just scares people, like that one costume where he scares the girl at the park.
He literally gets hit. He literally gets hit.
Yeah, like, I'm just saying, like, would you not just think about any of that?
Yeah.
Like,
is Norman really this stupid? That he doesn't think about how this could get Peter killed, this can make him look bad if he gets someone else killed. And like, yeah, why is he flying back to this building? Why not just climb? If it's so
there's a
unreliable.
question going, why does Comic Legend have a problem with Amazing PSM? I don't have like a personal problem with PSM. I just think like every time like you watch PSM, he seems like he just copies his opinions from people on Twitter. Like he seems just very unauthentic whenever like he says anything. Like he is the most switch up person I've ever met. Like I still remember like he praised like the Spider-Man 2 Insomniac game. He's like, it's the best Spider-Man game ever. But then when like Twitter like fucking said like it's shit and all that, he like immediately had a change up. Like it was like flicking a switch. Like no nuance, no nothing. It just seems like PSM like doesn't have any nuanced thoughts and just copies other people's opinions.
yeah, I mean, granted, Twitter does do that all the time. Twitter changes its opinion on something 2 months after it comes out.
I'm not tracking his opinions close enough to comment on this. So Jake Sally is saying it's not bad. Me and my mom liked it. Okay, that's great for you guys. It's bad though, and we're bringing up a lot of problems here.
Is that even supposed to be for real? Or is that supposed to be a joke?
Also, like,
I'm assuming that's a joke. SK's falling for dumb jokes now.
I had a thought, but well,
you're just as impressionable as this version of Spider-Man, SK.
But yeah, so we see like and I think Liam had a really good comparison that he can make in a moment. But I think it's really strange that this mob boss who wants to establish loyalty is attacking Lonnie because he's doing his homework. Like, this is just cartoonish right here. Just him going, you're doing your homework? Why? Fuck you. It's so dumb.
Oh, yeah. You know what's the scam, Lonnie? Yo, education is the scam. Give me that book.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, go on, Liam, because you had a really good comparison to Spectacular regarding how they handled that.
Oh, yeah, like, I think the thing is, remember, just as good as Spectacular, but in Spectacular's case, how they handle the mob bosses and stuff is, like, you see, like, even when they are not satisfied with how somebody, like, does something or fails to do something, they talk about it as, like, measured criticism instead of just antagonizing them, because they know, like, they shouldn't piss off people that work for them, because, like, even in a crime organization, you still need some level of respect. That kind of nuance
the mob actually does rely a lot on respect.
Yeah, that kind of nuance isn't in Friendly Neighborhood. Like, Donovan's just an obnoxious, stupid asshole who's like, Lonnie, you wanna educate yourself? You want a career? Give me that book. Fuck you. Or it's like he ruins like Lonnie's like football career to start a fight with the Scorpion, when it's like why are you trying so hard to get your own subordinates to fucking hate you? Like, I'm surprised Lonnie doesn't hate him in the end of the after like just the first 2 episodes he was like associated with him. He should be like, you're a fucking piece of shit, dude. You tried to bring me into a gang fight, like, and ruined my football career over that, when you don't even really need me, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, Daredevil also does this better with Fisk. Like, he has a lot of respect for people, especially like those that are like closest to him, like Wesley, Madame Gal, or
I've mentioned this when we were watching those episodes. Like, at first, there's an indie series I've been following from a writer I really like. It's called Bonesaw Vic's Cryptozoological Gardens, and that is about a mob. Like, the Bonesaw Vic is a mobster, and there are points like
Bonesaw is ready.
Yes. The story is about. Nah, it's fine. The story is about a character called Billy Whitebread. No, that's not his actual name. He's basically trying to find a way to get rid of Vic because Vic is like a huge piece of shit. He's called Bonesaw Vic because he carried a bone saw in his car so he could chop up the people he murdered as a hitman because he's part of the mob. And they have really nuanced stuff with how well Vic treats Billy Whitebread. Like when Billy gets caught by his drug dealer, because Billy did weed, but it was revealed that his drug dealer had a wire on him because his drug dealer got caught, and his way of getting out of it was wearing a wire and selling out Billy Whitebread. And Vic finds out about that, and he sends one of his guards, Lenny, and Lenny kills the drug dealer, and then I don't remember if he kidnaps Billy. I think he kidnaps him, and he forces him to help him bury the body at like 2 in the morning. It's horrible. But Vic's not just evil. When Billy Whitebread signs up to work at the Gardens, Vic literally gives him a paycheck, which is like $2,000 or some shit, by the way. It's a lot of money for when the show takes place, which is the 90s. Well, it's not a show, but whatever. He literally just gives him a paycheck for agreeing to the job. There's a part of the story where Vic like takes him out to lunch and hangs out with him all day and like introduces him to his mob friends and shit. He's really friendly because it actually has nuance. Vic's not just a super villain.
It's not stupid, it's being reckless, which Norman can be reckless. No, that's just stupid. Like, the reason it's stupid is because, from Norman's perspective, if Peter doesn't know how to use this dangerous technology, then that's going to get both of them in trouble.
Yeah.
It's not about recklessness, it's about him being stupid for himself.
MCU Spider-Man is still worse because he doesn't learn great power and responsibility until his third film, and relies too much on Iron Man helping him for literally everything.
You're killing me.
Norman helps him with literally everything. Norman literally has to spell out how to beat Speed Demon. Also, does Friendly Neighborhood know great responsibility? I don't think he does.
Also, no, he doesn't learn it because he already knows. So, like, what are you talking about? It took him 8 episodes to be Spider-Man. For MCU Spider-Man, it took 3 or 5 more if you include the others. What?
I don't even agree with that.
He already... What is your basis for this literally what costume he's wearing? Because I'm gonna laugh at you if that's all your reasoning is.
I mean, Friendly Neighborhood isn't really Spider-Man either. The only thing I think is an improvement from Tom Holland is that this one actually has a moral code.
Yeah.
Like, the most you can say is the cop thing, and even then, that's not him being immoral. He's just stupid.
Yeah. Yeah, if we proceed further with this episode, so yeah, he shows up in the gliding suit. Honestly, I don't know what the whole... Because the gliding thing, it seems to be kind of restrictive of, like, his flexibility. Interestingly enough. And it's like, oh, if he fights someone, and that just gets... The glider gets broken, it's like, what then? Does he not have web shooters as a backup? Doesn't seem that way.
Yeah, why doesn't he just have both?
Yeah, that's just weird to me. It's like, why not just give him web wings at that point? It's weird.
Yeah.
Exactly. Also, I had my criticism was different. My criticism was like, why not keep the glider just in case you run out of web fluid? Why would you get rid of that for your final suit?
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. Like with the web wings.
Yeah, why can't he just pop in and out the glider?
That could have been really handy later on in the show.
Spider-Man Unannounced says, nice job completely misrepresenting my criticisms. You didn't make any, so we had to assume for you. It's because you don't actually qualify the things that you're saying, so we have to just infer it in best faith, and it's still dumb. I don't know what to tell you.
I was talking about him as a character that, like, I don't know how that changes anything that you're trying to say, Spider-Man Unknown.
Okay, how does he become Spider-Man in Episode 8? And how does MC, like... Because he already became Spider-Man in the first episode. What are you talking about?
Yeah, why is he? What makes him truly Spider-Man in Episode 8? Even
yeah,
he's still. By the way, in the end of the show, he's still gonna work with the Web Corporation thing. So he's still like getting handouts. He still has all the high tech.
He still has a lot of money.
EMF 2.0.
Yeah, it's just EMF. So
that actually is what I said. I thought it was gonna be EMF.
So yeah, we'll let him go on. So Donovan gets sent to go get the food. He's like, I almost got jumped. You knew that would happen, didn't you? And he's just laughing about it, and I'm just thinking, okay, so Donovan knew Lonnie could get jumped, so what happens if he successfully does get stomped and interrogated on where Donovan's location is? What if he gives up the location out of spite or as a way out? What if he gets followed on the way? Donovan also knows that Gargan hunts people down for fun, and Lonnie has already shown up in the news often, so, like, what happens if his house is broken into, his family is threatened, so that Lonnie could give up Donovan's base? That's another thing that's really dumb about this. This guy has a face that's constantly shown in the paper. He's not a recluse. He's kind of a public figure here. He's well known, and he has him working for him, publicly taking his orders. Like, what?
I didn't think of that.
Also, once again, it adds to the problem with
Dumbass Donovan.
You're not gonna. Yeah, Dumbass Donovan isn't garnering any loyalty by pissing off your subordinates for no reason.
Should
Like,
he?
Like, Lonnie already has the promise of staying because he wants to protect his little brother. So I don't know why you need to, like, ensure more loyalty by risking his family's life with the Scorpion. Because he literally says, yeah, the Scorpion is good at tracking down and hunting down people for sport. So it's like, what if the Scorpion does that to his family now? You just risked, like, Lonnie's family for no reason, and you should have, like, lost his, like, respect and, like, trust absolutely.
He should never be
because he would hate
respected.
you and resent you. Which is another problem with Lonnie, because Lonnie ultimately, at the end of the show, sticks with this gang. Why would he want to be around these people
Why
that are
would he
willing to
change?
send psychopaths on his fucking family?
Exactly, bro.
Also,
Why would he
shouldn't,
fucking change?
shouldn't
No, not just to get a food order. No, you don't have to. It depends on the job. But real quick, Spider-Man Unknown says he actually learns to be on his own and what it actually means to be a hero. He was on his own at the beginning of the show. What are you talking about? And he literally did. Yeah, and he's on his own throughout the rest. The only time he's with people is when the world is at stake, so he has to, or in Far From Home when the world is at stake and he has to, or No Way Home where he fights Doctor Strange, is on his own and only works with the other Spider-Men because he has to. Yeah, Lonnie literally has to help him defeat Scorpion in the show. What are you talking about? He was terrible at what he was doing in the beginning? This guy's terrible nonstop. Like, what? What is your argument? That's true. What are you talking about? We can hear Nakamura. Yeah. Huh. So, yeah, Donovan's just like, yeah, I'm not going to use you as a pawn until you prove your loyalty, and it's like, you've done nothing to inspire that. I don't know what he's thinking. Exactly, it's really dumb. At least with the Kingpin. It's so funny, because you look at Daredevil and the Kingpin, who is way more mentally and emotionally unstable, right? Especially because of his past. You look at the Kingpin and Daredevil, where this asshole is just straight up saying to him, I say your position, like, he's like, please, just understand my position, and he says, I say it is of piss and shit. And he's like, well, I'm sorry you feel that way. But nevertheless, my point is valid. It's like, even he gets this. Wait, my mic is the... Okay, hold up. They can only hear me. Hold up, stop. They can only hear me. We gotta fix something. Yeah, just give me a moment. Give me a moment. Give me a moment. Try again.
It's only been
Alright, we're good. We're good. But yeah, what I was saying is that, like, in Daredevil, it's just really funny that Kingpin gets this better, even though he's more mentally unstable.
Yeah, like Like sometimes they'll insult Kingpin and he'll just like not give a fuck. He only cared when like he got embarrassed in front of Vanessa.
Yeah.
Bonesaw
And he
Vic
still
is
did that
portrayed as, like, a
privately.
complete psychopath.
Yeah,
He made sure not many people knew that he acted that way because he knows that would make him look really bad.
Also, he was initially trying to like keep his like name off the internet, so it's not widely known too.
That's right.
You mean public? Yeah.
That's right. He
That's
doesn't just
literally why
tell
that guy
random
calls
people who
himself.
the hell he is.
Well, the Echo Show kind of ignores that because in the Echo Show he beats up this ice cream vendor guy into the alley.
I haven't seen
That sounds
show.
stupid.
I've
it's
got nothing.
it's really stupid.
But yeah, so Peter's whole self-doubt thing, and like saying, I don't know if I can be the hero you want me to be, when Norman is saying, I want you to do this, this, and that, I don't believe it for this version. And the problem is that we already saw he was willing to take on Venom when he didn't have his powers. So why would I believe that when he says, yeah, I want you to be better than these heroes that are, you know, constantly making mistakes, have to be held accountable and stuff like that. Why? I just don't understand that, the whole self-doubt angle that they're going for. And I guess they don't go anywhere with it, and at least until later. But still, at this point, I don't really think it works for him. It doesn't carry any weight, considering what we saw earlier. Feels very weightless.
Yeah, like the problem. I've said it before. I'll say it again. Donovan's a fucking idiot. He doesn't know how to keep loyalty with the gang at all, and the way he treats Lonnie makes him seem like a fucking moron. And it makes Lonnie seem like a fucking idiot too, because he still like associates with these people, even when he has multiple opportunities to get out of it.
Yeah. So
there is no excuse in the end of the show because he's literally invincible and has super strength.
Yeah, he has the ability to go after them now.
Yeah, so another problem here. So Spider-Man sees a fire going off, and he has to act very quickly. So they have some sort of joke while he's doing this, where at first he saves people, and then he spots another guy who he isn't fully sure on how to save because of the path. Let me just skip ahead till we get there. Okay, right here, he sees a guy. So this guy, he's in the car, but there's still like, when Peter jumps through the fire, there's still a gap above it where he could have just jumped over, swung over, whatever. But then he goes through the fire, and he's surprised that it was fireproof. And I'm just thinking, so
I'm glad Norman didn't tell you that.
Yeah, one, why didn't Norman tell you that? And two, why would you jump through a fire if you didn't know it was fireproof?
Spider-Man and No says, no shit, he's not loyal. He literally leaves his crew to die. When it's like...
That doesn't counter what we said. We're pointing out
why
how
do they
stupid.
work for him?
He should want loyalty from others.
Yeah.
And in order to get loyalty, you have to show that you're loyal yourself, or else nobody's going to respect you.
Man, you're giving some really good points as to why the MCU version is clearly worse. Anyway.
Yeah, you need to like give... I'm just trying to say, you need to give someone a reason to be loyal to you.
Exactly. But yeah, so he's just flexing around while there's a fire going on. About, yeah, I'm fireproof. Like, are you kidding me? You're flexing your muscles when there's a fire. Do I need to explain that?
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, he just...
What the fuck?
Gets braggadocious when people could die.
Yeah, I really think that's bad. So then, yeah, he swings away.
Just as
he
good
was
as
1 second away from
guys?
the explosion. And yeah, I wasn't a fan of that in the save. So, okay, we're at the end of the episode, and then Genius Peter Parker, and this is where I'm just gonna be like, if you guys still say that this fixed MCU Spider-Man based on the problems you have, I don't know what to tell you. He swings to the Oscorp building. There's clearly 2 people there, so it's not just Norman, and it's not on lockdown mode. He starts talking, unmasks himself, and then Norman's just like, no. And Harry just looks at him. He's like, you're Spider-Man. It's like, yeah, you would have seen that because you have eyes. He's terrible with his identity.
Harry wasn't like hidden in another room or whatever. He could have saw him through the window. I don't know how he didn't.
Yeah.
Another really stupid scene.
MCU Peter was willing to go on vacation while a threat was happening. How is that worse than... Okay, you finally made a valid point that we can actually work with, okay? Yeah, he is worse than that element. Yeah, I mean, we literally said earlier, it's like, yeah, the whole letting the world die thing, that's the only thing that it has over the... that this show has
over... Yeah, Friendly Neighborhood has a moral code. That is the only improvement. Other than that, they are the same fucking character.
Yeah, and also, I didn't even say that Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man was better, like, as Peter Parker, as an adaptation. He's not better than the MCU version. I said that...
No, he is, because he has the moral code.
Sorry, my bad, I mixed it up. I meant to say, I didn't say the MCU version was better than this. What I said is that the story of this season is worse than Far From Home and Homecoming. That was what I said.
As an overall package, it's worse.
Yeah, it is overall worse. So yeah, it's just...
Also, once again, like, if your improvement for a show, if you're saying this is an improvement of MCU Spider-Man, and the only improvement you have is literally not...
He's not okay with genocide?
This one literally isn't the bottom, doesn't do the bottom of the barrel ass decision, like letting fucking everyone die on planet Earth. And, like, that's really shit. That doesn't sound good at all.
It's quite the praise.
That's all you got.
Yeah, that's all you got. I mean,
that is not that much of an improvement if that's all you're gonna tell me is fucking
bare minimum.
All you got is that he didn't say you're saying the lives of a billion strangers are more important than my vacation. That's the only thing you've got.
Yeah. Well, guys, I'm going to have to head out. I'll still be listening to stream, but I haven't.
All right, see you later, man.
Thanks for having me on. Sorry about the whole stream thing.
No, I guess good for sure, man.
Do from now on.
Episode 10 improved the show to being average. Spider-Man Unknown. The finale's the worst thing in the show.
It's the fucking worst episode ever.
Yeah.
What show? What episode?
10.
Episode
10's fucking terrible.
10 is just horrendous. So, okay. We're on episode... Oh, yeah, I just need to say real quick. Episode 4, that was a 3 out of 10 as well. So, like, we're not doing great. So, I have a bit of time. We might have to cut short, and I'll let you know if we have to. But I think what we'll do for now is do the most we can with episode 5. We'll just have to see how much time we'll allow for. But I just want to start off because it leads into this. Otto has the unicorn, and who was originally going to have a gang with her. He has the unicorn arrive at his
By the way, I want to say the only good thing about this show that's unquestionable, Unicorn is a fucking baddie, bro. I would let her throw me through a wall. Like, her biceps, god damn.
But what about Sophia Falcone? I mean, Gigante.
Sophia Falcone isn't shredded, bro.
Gooners! No more gooning in my stream.
Back to what I was saying.
Listen, we have to get some form of praise in for this fucking gay-ass show.
Oh, these fictional women!
So something
fucking fat.
So remember I said earlier about how something smart Otto did earlier was use a robotic garbage dump to temporarily hide in plain sight and use that to accept money remotely while delivering the product there. And that's really smart to avoid double crosses or robberies. So why didn't he do the same with Unicorn? Why did he let her into his main base? He lets her know the location. He lets her inside the base, walks around the warehouse for some reason with all this tech and stuff. And, yeah, it's just, imagine if she gets arrested by the police, and they're like, where did you get it from? And she spills that location. He's screwed.
Well, my next question would be, like, she does get caught in the end of the episode by the police. Why does she not disclose the location so she can get a lighter sentence? Like, what's her motivation not to do that?
That's true.
What leverage does Otto have to keep this a secret? Because he doesn't do anything.
Exactly. Otto Octavius is a moron in this show, and he is the worst Doc Ock. Straight up.
He's Jim Carrey's, like, Robotnik, but, like, without the actual, like, good writing and fun.
Mm-hmm.
Or the dance, or the funny dance sequence. My finger is on the
On
button.
the button. Push the
Push
button.
the button.
Jake Casale
A
says
metal hand.
you
I
become
haven't seen that ever since I hate watched Green Lantern in 2011. I was saving it for Comic-Con, but there won't be a Comic-Con.
You become the new CinemaSins, criticizing every scene in each part. Maybe if every scene didn't have problems, then I wouldn't be criticizing every scene. Maybe think about that instead of making your brain dead defenses.
Well, the thing is, it's like, okay, what kind of broader point do you want us to get on? Because in fairness, like we could talk about the episodes as a whole, like from like the whole development of something. We're trying to, I think we're trying to save that, but even with that, it's still like the character stuff shit is bad. Like I don't know if you guys have been picking up on the shit I've been saying about Lonnie. Lonnie's whole thing is that he was like a football player, right? Who's he's a popular guy at school, football player, has like a future ahead of him and all this shit. But then, thanks to circumstances involving his little brother, he's like forced to join this gang. This gang does nothing but disrespect him, mistreat him, put him and his family in danger, and constantly throughout the show is willing to endanger little kids like his little brother, and like for the most part are morally bankrupt fucks of people. When Lonnie isn't, to the point where he doesn't even have a killing rule. Like he has a no kill rule for Scorpion. He doesn't want Spider-Man to kill him. Why the fuck is he still associated with this gang?
Awful to him.
Why is he okay with associating with a gang like that? That's ruining his life. It ruins his football career and his school life and shit. It's ruining his life, and they're scumfucks and don't morally are morally against what he believes in. They're antithetical to his own beliefs because he's not a scumbag that's willing to endanger children or kill people. He can't even kill the Scorpion, who's a monster. Like that's how good of a person Lonnie is and how they establish him to be. So his turn into villainy or into like sympathizing with his gang is fucking insane. It just doesn't make any sense for him at all. There's nothing there. There's nothing he relates to with the. I'm not done. There's nothing that he relates to in the gang. There's nobody that he has any kind of relatable like relationship with or anything. Like as far as I can tell, he barely has any friendships with them besides the most like basic acquaintance ass shit ever, and he's willing to still like associate with them, and he has many ways out. In the end of the show, he's invulnerable and has super strength. Why is he with the gang? There is no reason anymore.
As a point of comparison, again, even when he didn't know anything about him and he literally just signed up for a job, when Billy Whitebread started liking Bonesaw Vic. Bonesaw Vic literally paid him for saying yes. He gave him like $1,500 or some shit.
Well, like that's just
for doing nothing.
Hang on. So that was just one character. Because like if you don't want to nitpick, I'll just go through Bob Brother's shit right now, like really quickly. So we already talked about this. Most of the villains are one note, and the ones that are not, like, are the bigger developed ones. So Doc Ock, we were just talking about this. Doc Ock is incompetent, fucking stupid. We have no reason for why he's a villain besides he's egotistical. And like his plotline ends in with just Iron Man getting rid of it. Spider-Man doesn't even like face him at all. And there was no like satisfying resolution to the major story arc, which was him giving weapons to bad guys and shit. It begins and ends off screen essentially. Just Norman fucking tracks him, and then Iron Man gets rid of him.
Self-deletes. It's so funny.
Mm-hmm.
So that plotline is unengaging anyways, and doesn't have an interesting way for it to end. Doc Ock has no real backstory besides he's a generic egotistical scientist that has a disagreement on Oscorp. And like there's no like depth to him at all. He's just generic arrogant science man. That's a terrible fucking character. That's a boring villain for like one of the major villains of the entire season. Norman Osborn has like a bunch of stupid scenes that we'll get into later on. So what exactly is good about this show right now? I don't understand. It's a bad adaptation of Spider-Man, and it's not even written well to justify its shitty fucking like attempt of adapting this wonderful character. Like, how about this? Instead of you guys saying that we're nitpicking, give us, like, reasons it's not shit so far. We have a bad villain. The supporting cast is fucking inconsistent and stupid. Peter has no backstory or depth that makes it interesting for him to be Spider-Man. Like, his character arc is just nothing. So, what is good about the show right now?
It made my brain go woo.
He joined them because he had no choice. It was either he takes his brother's place or they both die. Okay, hey, Spider-Man Unknown, use your eardrums. He is now invincible and has super strength. Why is he still with the gang?
Because
he has a way to leave. He has an opportunity to leave. Donovan isn't the leader anymore. He ran away and lost the trust of his fucking subordinates. And even if he tried to come back, he could crush them with his fucking bare hands. He's superhuman now and can't be hurt. He's literally invincible.
So
because he's the new Sandman from Spider-Man 3.
He is. Jay Casale says, if you despise the show so much, don't watch it. Hey, dumbass, if you despise the stream so much, then don't watch it. Take your own fucking advice, you morally inconsistent idiot. Jesus.
That's kind of a weird rebuttal to criticism.
Is written like Insomniac version for his hatred towards Norman, except he's one-dimensional. Yes, exactly. He's one. The main villain
so why
of the
is this so
season, the
good?
overarching one, is one-dimensional. So the villains are bad. Peter has like no like compelling reason to be Spider-Man. He has like his arc is like fucking. I don't even know what his arc is, honestly. Like it's so bad. Like I don't even know what he like really learned or changed from besides don't be around shitty corporations, I guess. The side characters are boring. So far, Sneeko in like the 3 or 5 or whatever episodes have been basically doing nothing besides just moping around. That, oh, Peter's not hanging out with me, and that's it. Lonnie is inconsistent and badly fucking written. It's like, so what is good right now? Honestly.
Can you name?
Are we gonna say Harry Osborn is good because he's rich and nice and has no other characterization at all?
Can you name a scene that's like really significant for Peter as a character that's actually really strong? That like plays
because he's in charge of the gang now. Why is he in charge of the gang? Why is he being a gangster exactly?
Why wouldn't he disband the gang?
Yeah, just disband it.
Yeah, why would he not disband it? Why is he morally like okay with being a part of a gang now when these gangsters are willing to endanger children and kill police officers, which is something he is against? Why doesn't he like end it? Never said the show was good, SK. That's like if I said you think Homecoming good because you said it's better than Edge of Time. Stop calling her Sneeko. No, she is Sneeko. She literally embodies Andrew Tate, bro. She is clearly Sneeko. Like that's what's so frustrating. It's like it feels like it's just so like brain dead. It's like how could we go, okay, we have these problems here, these inconsistent writings here. Oh, you're just nitpicking. What's actually bad about the show? Okay, so the entire characterization of this is this and bad. Well, yeah, but like what's the problem with the show? I don't know, man. Maybe everything right now? What's good? Like what the fuck do you want us to say? Like I agree not everything SK is saying is the most significant criticism ever. Sure. Like I don't think like every little thing is like gonna make the show badly written, but the thing is it's like it's the whole that makes it bad. As a whole, Lonnie is stupid. He's a shit character. He's inconsistent, doesn't fit his own fucking morals, doesn't fit his own belief systems.
Just a mess.
And like has a lot of illogical conclusions. He's like, the gang's my family now. I sympathize with child endangering fucking losers who attack the police and kill people.
There's no consistent direction for his character. That's the core of the issue here. I do have to step in for a bit. I'm about to have dinner planned, so I'm gonna have to stop it for a bit. I'm down to start around the same time this Saturday. And we'll do part 2 then. What do you think?
Yeah, but also let's make it a disagreement day. Let's get people in the fucking stream.
I do want to do this. Well, yeah, we'll do it as Thumpcast first, and then we'll do disagreement day. We'll see if that can be done.
Yeah. Just do the disagreement day after we finish all the episodes.
Just to solidify this, like what we got from just the episodes we are going through, and just like the points we've made. Lonnie's already damaged. He's already like a ruined character. He's really bad.
Mm-hmm.
Peter is one of the most shallow versions of the character we've seen in all of adaptation. Excuse me. Sneeko is very one note. and like she's gonna only be a little bit better like in later episodes, like until we get like the reveal of her being like hypocritical and shit. The villains are one note and bad and have stupid plans and like literally have no like depth behind their motivations or storylines. So at this point, it's like, what exactly is the good right now? The only thing that we haven't brought is like blatant plot holes for the most part. And even then, it's like that still doesn't mean the show is good. This is still a really bad or at least mediocre show. And we're not even done.
Yeah, we're not even
More will
halfway.
come soon.
But yeah, I think that's a good point to end it off there. I think that was a lot of good points thrown in to finish it off.
Fucking garbage ass team.
Fire all the Fleet House.
You know what's a show? You know what's a scam? This motherfucking show is the fucking scam.
Like,
Yeah,
at least